This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. BPL says power cuts may be looming as it's facing issues with fuel logistics. The opposition leader wants a more robust vaccine rollout. And coming up from Morning Blend Business, the business of Junkanoo with home porting, a reality now, or soon to be, for cruise lines. Is Junkanoo prepared for the many opportunities? We're going to be discussing that. That's all straight ahead. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, BPL, Bahamas Power and Light, advising customers to brace for possible power cuts due to fuel issues at its Blue Hills power plant. In a statement yesterday, a joint statement from BPL and Shell, saying that BPL confirms that we are experiencing issues with fuel logistics at the Blue Hills power plant. The service provider in question, Sun Oil Limited, has assured that all necessary steps are being taken to remedy the matter, and we are working jointly to stabilize the power supply while corrective actions are implemented. The statement saying that until the solutions are fully implemented, some customers may experience short outages. But BPL said nothing further on the matter, even after the Nassau Guardian attempted to obtain a clearer explanation on what it meant by, quote, issues with fuel logistics. BPL Chairman Dr. Donovan Moxey and Director of Communications Quincy Parker both declined to comment when reached yesterday. Meanwhile, former Electrical Workers Union President Paul Maynard suggesting to the Nassau Guardian that BPL dropped the ball in preparing for increased demand due to rising temperatures. He says, with it being so hot lately, BPL and Shell have to work it out. He said, quote, Shell has to find a way to get them that automotive diesel oil. In other news, PLP leader Philip Davis says he does not believe the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine in the country is efficient enough to control the third wave of COVID cases the country is experiencing. With COVID-19 cases surging in recent weeks, many expected Prime Minister Dr. Menis to increase restrictions to mitigate the spread of the virus. But that has not happened, and the Prime Minister has instead called for better enforcement of existing measures. Menis has also said that access to a COVID vaccine makes restrictions less necessary than they were earlier in the pandemic, even though only 53,600 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine have been received in the Bahamas to date. Davis says the vaccine is losing the race against the COVID-19 in the country. Private investigator Oswald Samuel Poitier, charged with intentional libel regarding remarks made about opposition leader Philip Davis on social media. The 43-year-old Poitier entered a not guilty plea at his arraignment before Magistrate Samuel McKinney. Police arrested Poitier in San Salvador over the weekend in respect to a complaint made by Davis in December 2020. Poitier is accused of intentionally defaming Davis in messages that were recorded and published on social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp. This happened sometime prior to November 16, 2020. Poitier alleged that Davis had, quote, instructed persons to hurt, take out, and kill other people. McKinney said Poitier's bail at $5,000 with one or two sureties. He has to report to the Carmichael Road Police Station once a month until his trial is concluded. Poitier's trial has been set for June 29th. And Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness, Keisha Parker Edgecombe, saying the government is in the process of finalizing a national mass fatality plan. She says the plan will help the country in becoming more organized, especially in the wake of disasters and emergencies. Parker Edgecombe says the plan will be made available to the public in short order. The finalization of the plan comes as the country nears the second-year anniversary of Hurricane Dorian, which impacted Grand Bahama and Abaco in September 2019. That storm left thousands displaced, scores missing, and dozens dead. Overseas, an elevated section of the Mexico City Metro collapsed and sent a subway car plunging toward a busy boulevard. This happened late yesterday, killing at least 23 people and injuring about 70. According to city officials, rescuers searched a car left dangling from the overpass for hours for anyone who might be trapped. The efforts were suspended early today, however, because of safety concerns for those working near the precariously dangling car. A crane was brought in to help shore it up. The city's mayor saying that they don't know how many are still alive in what is one of the deadliest accidents in the city subway system, which is among the busiest in the world. The mayor saying that someone had been pulled alive from a car that was trapped on the road below. She said 49 of the injured were hospitalized, but 7 were in serious condition and undergoing surgery. That overpass is about 16 feet above the road, but the train ran above a concrete median strip, which apparently lessened the casualties among motorists on the road below. The Mexico City Metro has had at least 2 serious accidents since its inauguration half a century ago. In March of last year, a collision between 2 trains left 1 passenger dead and injured 41 people. In 2015, a train that did not stop on time crashed into another at a stop, injuring 12 people. In sports, despite being on the injured list for a week, the impact of Jazz Rado Jazz Chisholm is clear and obvious, as he's already a frontrunner for the National League Rookie of the Year award in Major League Baseball. The Bahamian professional baseball player with the Miami Marlins had a tremendous first month of the season as he had 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 11 runs scored. Despite missing the Marlins' last 4 games with a strained left hamstring, he's second on the team in batting. You can read more about his impressive start in today's Guardian Sports section. And as a testament to her early season dominance, Shanae Miller-Weibo is being recognized as a top performer in the region. The North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletic Association, NACAC, one of 6 area associations of world athletics, has ratified the Bahamian superstar track and field athlete as its most outstanding female athlete of the 2021 indoor season. That decision made by NACAC Sports Journalists Working Groups. Reigning Olympic champion in the women's 400 meters, Miller-Weibo ended the indoor season as the world leader in the 400 meters with a national record run of 50.21 seconds. That was done at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix meet at the Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex in New York. The time was also a NACAC record, breaking the time of 50.34 that was done by fellow Bahamian Christine Amertil at the 2006 World Indoor Championships in Russia. 27-year-old Miller-Weibo is also impressive in the 200 meters indoors this year, earning second spot on the global list with a 22.40 clocking in, which is also a Bahamian national record, breaking Pauline Davis-Thompson's 26-year-old mark of 22.68. You can read more in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, high pressure remains over the area, supporting very warm conditions and moderate to fresh breezes. There remains a risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines in the southeastern Bahamas. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with a chance of a few stray showers, turning fair and warm tonight. For boaters, the smallcraft caution remains in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Wind southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots in the northwestern islands, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the central Bahamas, and 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the northwestern and central islands, 4 to 6 feet in the southeast Bahamas. 78 degrees right now to partly cloudy skies in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Don Sargent. Good morning, Don. Don Sargent, good morning. Yes. No. Maybe so. Yes, he's there. Good morning, Don. Okay. Well, we'll come back to Don. He'll join us when he's there. And you can join the conversation. We are ready for you on Twitter at MorningBlend969 or Facebook, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us, morningblend@nasgar.com. Or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-GR96, 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. A lot to talk about in the news this morning. And then later in Morning Blend Business, we will be talking about Junkanoo, the business of Junkanoo, with many opportunities on the horizon, with more cruise lines calling the Bahamas home, for now at least, with home porting. Are Junkanooers and Junkanoos ready for the opportunities? Are willing and ready to take advantage of the opportunities? Have even thought about the opportunities that this will present? We're going to be talking about that this morning. So that's all straight ahead. But first, let's talk about what's in the news. And I think we've got him now. Don, are you there?
Morning, Dwight.
Okay, Don. Good morning. Great to have you with us. Hope you're doing well.
Can't complain.
Okay. All right. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. All right. So a lot to talk about this morning. And let's begin with the headlines in the Nassau Guardian. Power cuts may be looming. No, I'm not reading a paper from 2018 or 2019. No, this is from today, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Power cuts may be looming. Our Jasper Ward writing about this. Bahamas Power and Light advising customers to brace for possible power cuts due to fuel issues at its Blue Hills power plant. BPL and Shell saying in a joint statement yesterday, quote, Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited confirms that we are currently experiencing issues with fuel logistics at the Blue Hills power plant. The service provider in question, Sun Oil Limited, has assured that all necessary steps are being taken to remedy the matter, and we are working jointly to stabilize the power supply while corrective actions are implemented. Until the solutions are fully implemented, some customers may experience short outages. But BPL saying nothing further on the matter, even after the Nassau Guardian attempted to obtain a clearer explanation as to what it meant by, quote, issues with fuel logistics. What does that mean? BPL Chairman Dr. Donovan Moxey and Director of Communications Quincy Parker both declined to comment when reached yesterday. Now, former Electrical Workers Union President Paul Maynard suggested to the Nassau Guardian that BPL dropped the ball in preparing for increased demand due to rising temperatures. Maynard said, quote, it's been very hot lately, so they're using more fuel than they normally would. BPL and Shell have to work it out. Shell has to find a way to get them that ADO, that's automotive diesel oil. Yesterday evening, PLP leader Philip Brave Davis, who was minister responsible for BPL under the Christie administration, said the public is owed a fuller explanation on the current state of affairs at the company. He said, quote, obviously there have been challenges with providing affordable and reliable electricity, and they're now indicating and or blaming logistical issues with fuel supply. Now, that's rather odd, this is Davis. Fuel is a commodity you should be able to access. The blame or excuse that they're using for challenges that they're experiencing is being veiled by this thought that of logistical issues relating to fuel supply. Unless you understand what these logistical issues are, we are still left in the dark with the same old lack of transparency and lack of frankness as to what is actually happening with BPL. I'm sorry. Yes, including when you were there, Mr. Davis. Yes, absolutely. Anyway, Davis said the bottom line is that BPL is failing. He said the brief statement issued by BPL begs more questions than it answers. Davis said, quote, we need an informed view of what is actually happening. We're going to have power cuts and we're going to have load shedding, he predicted. Okay, so we're back to this. We are back to this.
So just like old times.
Yeah. They gave us a little break last
very
year.
Nostalgic.
We had a break last year because of COVID. We couldn't take the two of them at the same time. That would have really just sunk the whole place. But now, even though COVID it's not gone anywhere, but they've decided it's time for you to remember your old friend, BPL.
Time for us to sweat, Dwight.
Oh boy!
Sweat.
Oh boy!
The explanation is the first question I asked is, what does that even mean? Because I heard it yesterday. They put out a statement. I think it is on Facebook. At least I read another news outlet that carried the story, and I didn't know how true it was because it just seemed so vague. I was like, people couldn't have said something like that. And then I'm saying this, I'm like, no, they probably really did. It's. I don't know why they just can't make a just firm explanation why they're still being dodgy with things in terms of, like if my power is going to go off, I should at least know the proper reason, not that you're having logistical challenges. It's kind of the government, if they're having like issues with the budget, just saying, oh, we're just having cash flow issues, and that's why nothing's being paid.
Right.
Come on, man. But I'm expecting too much. So, just like old times, Dwight.
Hey. I guess. But we really do need an explanation from this, on this, if not from those gentlemen at BPL, at least from the minister, the current minister responsible for it, and we do need to hear that as soon as possible. Because we're not, right? I'm speaking for everybody, nobody wants a repeat of what we experienced in 2019. No way, shape, or form. Can't do it. Cannot. No.
Yeah, that was a pretty ghetto experience. Power going off every other day. No, not interested.
No. So yeah, and I think we are as paying customers owed that at least a real explanation as to what that means.
Yeah, because the MO. They usually turn your power off and charge you double.
So that's that. The headline in the Tribune is interesting as well. First signal election on ? As the RBDF, the Defense Force, is given a deadline for personnel to register for the advance poll. Already. And we saw that yesterday circulating. The Defense Force asking its department heads to prepare for the possibility of an early general election by providing a list of people who will vote in that advance poll. Now, a memo that's been going around says, be advised that in preparation for the possibility of an early general election, you are directed to provide a listing of all personnel in your purview voting in the advance poll and forward the same to the base executive officer by Thursday, the 6th of May. That's very soon. This was dated the 29th of April, so just a few days ago. It says, accordingly, for ease of reference, included is the listing. In the listing should be the name, rank, or rate, pay number, telephone contact, and voter's card number of each individual. Forwarded your information and necessary action. All right, so. Just in case. Just in case. Now, according to the Tribune, RBDF Commodore Raymond King told the Tribune that the document was issued in response to a memo the Defense Force received from the Parliamentary Registration Department, the department that oversees elections in the country. The title of the memo is Request for You. That's the one we just read. Okay. So, what do we make of that? No biggie? Just being prepared? Or is that a sign that something is indeed going to happen? Let's talk about it. Let's get your views on it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Now, according to the Tribune, Commodore King declined to discuss whether this signifies that the country is headed for an early election. He told them, quote, that was in response to a memo that we got from the Parliamentary Registration Department. It came from the Parliamentary Registration Department through the ministry to my desk. I can't speak for the Parliamentary Registration. In all fairness, they should speak to their organization why they're doing what they're doing. The Defense Force, like other uniformed branches, might have people who might be about to be deployed, so we're seeking to ensure information is captured for those persons who we know may be deployed at some point to ensure those persons are not disenfranchised. Yeah. Uniform branches usually verify their personnel ahead of the election. Yep, disenfranchised is a very interesting word. That happens when you don't know when anything's going to happen and you're caught off guard or by surprise by when one person pulls something on you that you didn't know was going to happen at this time. That happens a lot, I can imagine, when one person has all that power. But this is how we like to do things. This is what we do here best. And we want to continue to keep it that way. And when people say or promise to change it, they like to forget. And when people ask them to keep their promises, then they are ridiculed. But hey. All right, let's hear what you have to say. The phone lines are lit up. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259 when you can get in. And again, tweet us, Facebook us, text us. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Golly day to this dark universe, and also Christ Jesus is King forever and ever. Dwight, and of course, Madonna, a godly day to you all also. How are you all doing?
We're doing okay.
Wonderful. Now, the thing is with BPL, right? Now, the thing is we pay our bill. When they're talking about fuel logistics, fuel weights, that's all they are saying, right? Now, what they meant, they got to stop this nastiness, and the government should get rid of them because Satan people are going to have current in spite of what they're doing to us. Okay? My other point is, right? I want you to ask you this question. When it comes to the fourth richest man in the world, right? What happened whereby him and his wife being out there saying that the black people would have been the first persons to get the vaccine.
I don't know where you're about to go. I don't know what's happening. Why?
And now what I'm saying is not knowing that they're going their separate way. Something are not right.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Something just ain't right.
That's the motto for the nation. The motto for the nation. Seriously, please, no. That's not.
I'm only kidding around, man. But avoiding that topic.
Not you.
Altogether.
Right. I'm talking about the call.
Oh yeah. I wasn't even going to touch it.
Let's not do it.
Yeah.
But in case you don't know what he's talking about, I don't know if he's fourth now. It keeps changing and the back and forth with the rich people. They're playing chess with their positions on the richest person in the world list. But he's talking about Bill Gates and his wife announcing they're getting divorced. What is the problem? People are getting divorced every minute in the world. What is the issue? Something's not right? Really? Please stop. For God's sake, stop. All right, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Dawn. Yeah, Dwight, I didn't want to get on your show yesterday, but I couldn't get on, right? Yes, you know, this freedom of information, we were asking for this for a little while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that you noticed the trend from yesterday, right? It appears that every election cycle now, that's the time to produce the Freedom of Information Act. We can't accept no Freedom of Information Act what is produced or given to us during an election campaign, because that's how the two last Freedom of Information was entered up, and shortly thereafter it was an election, right? Because it appears that nobody who presents the Freedom of Information Act wants to be there to be scrutinized, but by this Information Act. So so they just rush it together, knowing that they're going to lose the general election, right? And so the next person comes in place, right? And that's how our government works. When the opposition comes, knowing they just going to discard it because it is something that they wanted, if it was good or bad, because it doesn't matter, right? And it's crazy to see how we just operate in this country when it comes to that. But I know there's going to be election, because I was following this just like you for a little while, and this ain't the first time. The only time I will accept a Freedom of Information Act is when a government comes in place and they present it.
All right. Now, in all fairness, the act is already in effect, right? The act. There's a little more than this. They've gone further than the act now. Now it's actually to put the things in place.
But I know the act was already, but at the end of the day, right? Why do everybody has to even mention Freedom of Information Act when it comes to election, right? Because we have some footballs in this country that has been kicked around politically, right? And this just happened to be one. And there's so much balls on the field right now, right? I don't think they know which one to really kick, right? But this particular football, right? I don't see it happening for the Baymen, because they just keep sneaking it on us, right? And we just got to get ready for election. And when it comes to the defense force, right? Defense force, in my opinion, they have the what's going on, because they need to. And if they could be making suggestions that the election is looming, there's only what we were saying now for months, right? That despite the prime minister coming on and saying that the election is not until the 2020. That's the scheduled time for it. But that don't mean that it can't happen before the 2020 May.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're saying that what happens with the office being opened is proof that the election is this year?
It's proof that the election is looming.
Okay.
It's proof that election is looming. Mark my word, Dwight.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We will see. We're going to talk a little more about that in just a few minutes, actually. The Freedom of Information Office. All right. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Yes. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
Yeah, I wanted to call in yesterday because your post talking about MPs not really crying enough for their constituents, right? But I beg to differ. Many occasions I've seen on both sides now, PLP and FNM, where the MPs were crying out to the Speaker about conditions in their respective areas. And I also watch the parliamentary channel. I also go to Parliament at time over the years. PLP or FNM and PLP or FNM government in power. So I don't know if she just saying it like that. But
no, she wasn't. You remember what she said yesterday? She said it was mainly the opposition or backbenchers. Well,
but
once you've been fired from your government post, then you start to complain about issues in your constituency.
Well, I don't think so. I've seen many MPs on that. Remember, what's his name? Leslie Miller. I remember a couple of occasions he had some issues. And so, MPs have times where they make noise, even Hannah Martin at times. So I don't know. It's a mixture. But they do if there's an issue going on in their constituency, they do say, well, Mr. Speaker, this is an issue, water or whatever. We need to try and solve this problem. So that's a matter of knowing what's going on. But we also got to keep abreast of our country and how things are going on before we make comments like that.
So you think they're fantastic? They're doing a great job. We
I'm
love
saying
them.
they raise hell. That's my point.
Oh, okay.
They just don't sit down.
Oh.
They just raise hell for their, because some of your reps in your area, they raise hell to the speaker, no matter even if they're coming to power. They are represented by the people,
Okay.
So the impression was that, people don't make that much noise. But it comes from both sides.
Okay. All right.
Okay, man.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. If I had time, I'd ask you what your definition of raising hell meant. But okay. Very good. MPs are heroes. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Don't want to hear me. Good morning.
Dwight.
Hi.
How you doing, Dwight?
Doing well.
I'm having a fuel logistics problem this morning.
Oh, you must be. You're calling us. It's been a long time, Graham. Welcome.
Well, I'm only going to weigh in on the things that I know. Good morning. My fuel logistics problem is the light just came on in my truck, and I'm low on fuel.
Uh-oh.
So it's a fancy word of saying that I'm running low on fuel.
Are you able to pay for more fuel? Because that would be a major logistics problem if you aren't.
Well, the Honorable Leslie Miller, when he was in, said that if businesses, and I have the Guardian to show you this, if businesses stopped paying their light bill, we would have a fuel logistics problem.
Oh, dear.
And I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
But what if businesses are struggling now because of what's happening financially, and they're unable to pay their light bill? Does that have a domino effect? See, I always ask the questions that I know the answer to. But I'm going to leave you with this. In 1999, I went on radio with Mike Smith, and I said we should have solarized this country. Do you realize a water heater, just to heat your water, forget electricity, and I'll be brief. The Honorable Leslie Miller said would lower your light bill by 1/3. So we should have struggled to put a water heater on every home, and we would have needed 1/3 less diesel and 1/3 less power generation. We wouldn't have had to buy those generators, and we wouldn't have had a fuel logistics problem. We need an energy czar. So, Dwight, I regret to say this is simply the fallout of not implementing solar. And I'm hoping the Green New Deal from Joe Biden, we embrace that, because we never embraced COP21 in France.
Not fully,
This is easily fixed, Dwight, but there's no will to do it, because $400 million is made a year selling fuel to put in generators to keep the light on.
Absolutely.
Isn't that disgusting?
It's very sad.
Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right.
In diesel we trust, Dwight. In diesel we trust.
Oh, dear. Boy, oh, boy. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Mr. Strong, good morning. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Good morning.
You and your guest. Mr. Strong, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Well, I have to report this in the man. Last night, I saw three police cars pulling me over. You know who they stopped me for, Mr. Strong?
I can't imagine.
Tell me, say, Dave, please address this. They tell me they do not appreciate Marvin Dames giving orders to try to strong-arm the police camp. They said Marvin Dames allegedly give orders.
We're going to stop you right there. We're going to stop you right there because you're going. I wish they'd stop you to tell you to stop slandering people on the air. That would have been a good thing for them to do. Tell them to call in. This number isn't. You aren't the only one with the number, Dave. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. I mean, the police clearly aren't afraid of anything. I don't know why they can't talk for themselves. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Don.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I want to call in response to the caller talking about the MPs. Here's my question, right? If the MPs was doing their jobs, do you think Bahamians would be worrying about if they have water in their homes, if they have sanitation, if we have light?
Yeah.
What about if the fire truck shows up to your fire and no water in the truck? You know, would Bahamas be having those issues if the MPs was holding the senior government officials accountable to do their job? I mean, how can you have a whole block that's on fire and you send 2 fire trucks, one doesn't have water in it? Or like the incident in Freeport where the fire showed up at the mine house, no water, he had to go back and come back with water. By the time the mine house is basically burned down. Yeah, one of the gentlemen yesterday at the fire said he saw the houses on fire. An hour later, his house was on fire also. So what would fire trucks doing all the time?
I saw on the news last night. I saw a video clip on the news last night where the firemen were handing buckets to each other. I've never in my life, not since videos since the early 1900s, seen fires work with buckets. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Did we progress as a country if MPs was doing their job? Because here's the deal, right? I'm sure there's a map of this country that grids out all of these fire hydrants around the island. I'm sure the fire departments have access to that same map to know where every fire hydrant is. If there's a pump in these streets in the ghetto areas, which I think is ridiculous to begin with, shouldn't there be a fire hydrant somewhere in there? You know. But like I said, if the MPs was doing their jobs, like Renaissance Martin in her area, would we be having these discussions about fire trucks showing up in no water? I like to listen.
Yeah, these are great questions, and this is what we need to hear from the MPs, explanation about that, right? Or at least them calling for an explanation as to what happened with that fire yesterday. If that is indeed the case, as many witnesses say, the trucks had no water or not sufficient water. But yeah, I don't know what world that previous caller is in. I don't understand it. It's better Bahamas than the one that many of us experience, though. Much better. And I'm happy for him. I'm very happy. One day we will all be there. One day. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
I didn't know exactly what the topic was, but I heard at the end of someone talking about what I'm calling the early reaction.
Mm-hmm.
What I have to say in connection with the fires is that if the governments were doing their job in the Bahamas, we would have enough money to cover the things that Graham Rutherford just talked about, or the fact that the fire engines, at least 3, I was told, came to the fire without water in the fire and couldn't find a hydrant in time, right? Because we have enough resources to have those things covered. But in reference to the early reaction, someone who studies politics has said that because of the signing of a World Trade Organization paper to be the meeting they go into in November 29th, there is going to be an early election. Mm-hmm. And the early election is in order for them to sign on to the World Trade Organization group so that eventually the people reach into the ownership of the natural resources, like all that money is making off of the sand and different things in this country that we don't get any benefit from.
Now you're going down dark.
Hello?
That part is probably insane. Okay. But okay. I mean, but thank you very much. Appreciate the call. That would not be the reason, I'm sure. I can't imagine that.
You need to be woke, Dwight.
Is that what it is? Okay. All right. No, it's all strategy. Be somebody thinking they would get the one up on somebody else, but likely will backfire.
I just have a question about the early election thing, right? Because usually incumbent governments here, they do pretty horribly. I don't. If we were to do polling like the months run up to an election, it's not usually favorable. And I don't know. If I were the governing party, I would try to stall as long as possible for some things to happen, for public opinion to turn around a bit. And the thing is, too, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but as time will tell whether I'm wrong or the callers are wrong. I think we haven't had an early election since the 1960s. Why is it every single election cycle since I've been alive, right? Everybody keeps saying that there's going to be an early election, and it just doesn't happen. I don't understand.
This is like,
is there something I'm missing here, Dwight?
They just love it. They just love the frenzy of what happens in this country during elections, and it's very sad. It's very sad that the thing is driving.
And as to the point about
here.
the fire trucks and the MPs, I think we oftentimes forget too. The job of an MP is to legislate. All the extra things that are done, like going to funerals and that's technically not in the job of the MP. It's been quite frankly perverted in what MPs are supposed to do in the eyes of the public, aren't necessarily lining up what they're supposed to do on paper and with a law, not necessarily mandates, but requires for them to do with debate in House of Assembly. And the situation with the fire trucks too, I don't know, man. I think there should be an investigation, at least a report that comes out to the public as to what happened, how did these things happen, and what steps can be taken to mitigate it. Because some of the stories I've heard where, trucks show up and they had to leave because they're underwater, and then you're talking about the bucket situation. I don't know, man. It's just, and this isn't the first time I've heard this either. Like I've heard stories about this before, and people who I know who've been out of the country for years got news of this happening and said they thought these things changed since the 1980s. And it really makes me ask the question, if this is this bad in New Providence, imagine in Eleuthera, Exuma, Mayagüana, Inagua, right? How could you not get it right in the capital? And the other Famiana, some of them don't even have fire trucks.
Right.
So, I don't know, man.
Very sad. Very sad. We've got a lot of text messages. We want to get to those, but let's take these calls very quickly, and then we'll take a break and get back to text messages. We initially started talking about BPL and their threat or warning, I should say, that there could be some power cuts due to issues with fuel logistics, whatever the heck that means, and also the signs that there may be an early election. That's what we initially started talking about, but of course that's leading us down to many other issues. But let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Dawn.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight, you gave me a good laugh before I about the bucket situation, right? I just, for some reason, I just burst out laughing. But, Dwight, just give me some time here with the truth, right? From the Kong poisoning to the fire hydrant situation with the fire trucks and the freedom of the information. I don't even know what you're discussing, right? But there's an unfreedom of the press because, let's say with the situation with the Kong poisoning, it's the same thing that they allow the cruise ship to do, dump fecal matter a certain miles out to sea, right? But, obviously they have boats that don't go out to sea that is permanently docked at the port of ski, right? And then you have people doing nature right there. And so as the velocity of the water slows down, you have more fecal coliform build up in the water. All it takes is for them to do a coliform culture and verify this. Also Paradise Island, all right? Also homes in that immediate area, some of them are still tied into the drainage system that flows, gravitational flow into the sea. This is nothing new. All of those old homestead houses, some of them haven't innovated, and I know this because I actually knew someone who lived in one. So we all sit around and ponder, and then also I get some information from someone from Waterworks and all with the sewer plant right there and all about some laws being breached as far as getting rid of waste. All right, and so it's really no big pondering to do here with why the conch is being put. It's not the conch, all right. And then let's say with the fire hydrant system, I work in the reverse osmosis system from 1988, and in the hotel system, it's basically like a sprinkler system. What I know from it is it has jockey pumps, and whenever you lose water from a certain area, the jockey pumps will kick in from a pressure flow switch and compensate for the differential. So now, notice once in a while, you used to see them take the tops of the fire hydrants, and then they would establish that a certain amount of pressure is here, right? I think it averages to be about 50 pounds a square inch, but the thing is, if the fire truck's pulling up without water, that's a different scenario. I couldn't really explain why there is unless the tanks and the fire trucks ain't working. But for the fire hydrant system, like Dwight, I know it's outdated, and I know it's from a lack of maintenance and from a lack of care. Because however, like the guy talked about the schematics, however you draw up the schematics, when you look at it, I don't know how they have the jockey pump situated in order to boost these differentials, like whenever you use water, but obviously it's inept, all right, and it's sickening. It's the same thing with the freedom of the information. You need to get a lawyer on.
Is he there? Is he gone? Oh,
he's right though. It is sickening.
Okay.
I would love to see a report on this, but to my knowledge, Dwight, I think the fire department also comes under the police force. So, if anything, they'll investigate themselves and find the wrongdoing. So, it is what it is. It's
fine.
unfortunate because people lose their homes. There's no explanation, and I've seen people say that they saw the fire raging for more than an hour. They saw the smoke billowing for more than an hour before a fire truck ever showed up.
Wow.
This is why a report would be so good, right? Because it would stop speculation and increase public trust in these institutions. Because you could say, let's say 5 minutes after this blaze came about, a 911 call went through and the fire department was dispatched or whatever the situation was. Give us a rundown of events so you know not just what happened in this event. So we know, and the fire department knows, and the police force knows, and the government knows what steps can be taken so that if this ever happens again, that the same scenario doesn't play out. Like where you have a fire truck showing up with buckets. Like give us some explanations as to why these things are happening. I mean, I know I have high expectations, Dwight, by saying that.
Right.
I don't think it's high expectations, but in the confines of the Bahamas, I'm asking for a lot.
And Don, you are assuming a lot if you believe those buckets were on the fire truck. I believe they might have gotten them right from the neighborhood. But anyway, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know.
But
That's
we
why
don't
we
know.
want to report, right?
Yep. Okay, let's go to the break, and then we'll get to your text messages. A lot of those coming in, and we'll take more calls, and we've got a lot more to talk about, including what the central bank governor is saying about the state of the economy, and more on COVID, what our leaders are saying about that now. A lot to get to this Tuesday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
A single teardrop falling from your eye. I don't know why I run away. I'll make you cry when I run away. You could have asked me why I broke your heart. You could have told me.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. A deadly accident in one of the world's busiest subway systems, Mexico City. At least 23 people killed, dozens of others injured after a subway overpass collapsed, sending a train car hurtling toward a busy street. Our Julie Walker reports.
Mayor Claudia Scheinbaum says a support beam gave way just as the train passed over it. The overpass is 16 feet above the road. The train split in two, with one part left dangling off the overpass, a crane holding it up, the other part of the subway under rubble on the roadway, along with at least one car. The mayor told the news media at the scene people could still be trapped inside. Hundreds of rescuers were working at the scene. She says some of those killed were children.
Tornadoes, golf ball-sized hail, and 70-mile-per-hour wind. Much of the South may see severe weather again today after tornadoes smashed through the region Sunday night and Monday. Most at risk today, say forecasters, large parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee, as well as corners of Arkansas and Georgia. How are we doing in the battle against COVID-19? President Biden will update us this afternoon, says our Mike Gracia.
The president's remarks will come as U.S. regulators move toward expanding authorization for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine to cover young people ages 12 to 15. A federal official and a person familiar with the process say the Food and Drug Administration is expected to authorize vaccines for 12 to 15-year-olds by next week, the first step toward setting up vaccines before the beginning of the next school year.
Public transit crushed by COVID-19 is struggling to figure out how to win back passengers. Transportation officials say a key to increasing ridership will be employers reopening offices. Even so, it could take years to get riders back. This is AP News. One of the largest concerts to take place since the pandemic began has been taped for a TV special. The AP's Margie Zarletta has this.
Jennifer Lopez singing Sweet Caroline. Yeah, that happened. It was part of Global Citizens' Vax Live concert outside Los Angeles Sunday that also featured Eddie Vedder, Foo Fighters, J Balvin, and her. The concert will be shown on ABC, CBS, and YouTube on Friday to encourage vaccinations against COVID-19 and more global distribution of vaccines. Model Chrissy Teigen says getting the vaccine means getting back to the things we love.
We can come together as a nation again so we can see our grandparents, hug our grandparents, and go to brunch.
I'm Archie Zaraletta.
Fed Chief Jerome Powell says the economic outlook has brightened, but the recovery is leaving some people behind. Lower income groups, he says. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
7:37 the time. Time for another check of your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And in your real-time traffic at this hour, as usual, Smile Butler Highway, your hotspot with heavy traffic in the northbound lanes heading towards Tonic Williams Darling Highway. This is just north of Fire Trail. You'll be seeing that heavy traffic there. Traffic back to Belong Fire Trail as well, eastbound, heading towards that roundabout with Smile Butler Highway. Gladstone Road also busy, northbound lane heading towards JFK Drive this morning. We're seeing building traffic on Carmichael Road eastbound and northbound on Blue Hill Road, especially north of Soldier Road, just as you get over that hill heading towards Independence Drive. You'll be seeing that there. Elsewhere, just pockets at major intersections throughout the island, like Prince Charles Drive, along Prince Charles Drive, Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue, and Prince Charles and Soldier Road. And so far, that's what we're seeing. We'll have another real-time report for you, though, just after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And we've got another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. We've got high pressure over the area that's going to maintain some very warm conditions and moderate to fresh breezes. We also have some warnings. There remains a rip current risk along eastern and southern shorelines in the southeast Bahamas. For all areas today, look for partly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with the chance of a few stray showers, turning fair and warm tonight. The small craft caution remains in effect for the southeast Bahamas. 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius for your lows tonight. In your extended outlook, high pressure will prevail across the islands through Thursday at least, while gradually shifting eastwards in response to an approaching frontal system. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, look for partly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with a few possible passing showers, turning partly cloudy and warm at night. Thursday, partly cloudy, hot, and a bit breezy with a few passing showers, with increased cloudiness at night in the northwest Bahamas and isolated showers and a few possible thunderstorms. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check brought to you by Rev. Basketball fans, you've got to sign up now or upgrade to Rev Trio and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, as things are really intensifying in the NBA as we approach the playoffs. Only a couple weeks left. Call 601-8992 or email trio@cablebahamas.com to sign up. Rev, you and us together.
The best place to get a new iPhone is at BTC. Make the iPhone 12 mini yours for just $199. That's big savings to go with our sweet postpaid value of unlimited local calls, international minutes, roaming data and minutes, plus all the data you need. Stream, share, and stay connected on the best LTE network when you switch to BTC. Visit a store to sign up today and get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199. Conditions apply.
We are in an age of exponential change. The world is experiencing a technology boom where innovation is at an all-time high. What does this mean for small island nations? How can we adapt to the emerging digital revolution? Join 900 delegates from 3 Caribbean countries at one regional event to tackle the theme, Global digital disruption, threat or opportunity? The virtual RF Economic Outlook Conference happens on May 6th. Register today at rfeoc.com.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Digital banking, online, RBC. RBC banking, online, pay your bills anytime.
RBC Digital Banking is so easy. Granny and Granddad can do it. Sign up for online banking or download the RBC Caribbean app.
With RBC, it's safe and easy. Send your money hassle-free. RBC.
Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/bank at home. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean and pay no point-of-sale fees when you use your Visa debit card locally. Use your Visa debit card to purchase gas, groceries, hardware supplies, medication, and all of your other everyday essentials. Don't have a CIBC First Caribbean Visa debit card? Visit our website, cibcfcib.com, to sign up today. Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass. Only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes, including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on- and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Happy when I'm not with you, but then you saw me, caught you by surprise. A single teardrop falling from your eye. I don't know why I run away. I'll make you cry when I run away. You could have asked me why I broke your heart. You could have told me that you fell apart. But you walked past me like I wasn't there, and just pretended like you didn't care. I don't know why I run away. I'll make you cry when I run away. Take me back, 'cause I wanna stay. Save your tears for another. Save your tears for another day. Save your tears for another day.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent on this Tuesday morning. We continue to talk about what's in the news. Let's take this call. They've been on hold for a while if they're still there. And then we'll get to your text messages. Quite a few of those to get to. Still there? Nope. Okay. All right. So let's get to the messages. We've been talking about a couple of different issues this morning.
Hello, Dwight.
Say? What was that?
I'm still alive.
Okay,
alive.
wonderful. Good to hear.
Going under the edge.
All right, somebody's talking about junk canoe already. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit. This one here, read the just and advanced poll prep. Dwight, these people never prepare for anything. That answers your question. They're just waiting for a good wind to blow, then they'll call a snap election. If they find a cure for COVID today, election next week. Well, that's if the Bahamian people are willing to take the cure. Not that, right? Because just because you have the cure doesn't mean... Okay. Somebody's asking me how I do it every morning without hurting myself because of some of the callers. Yes, a good question. This one here, according to the House Speaker Moultrie, the Prime Minister asked him to go to England in July. He is a sitting MP. The only way that could happen is if the House was dissolved by then and an early election is called. So I think there will be an early election. Trying to connect your dots there, but okay, all right. Yeah. This one.
But the question still remains, though. What do they have to gain from an early election? Right? Do we have polling information to show who's in the lead and who isn't at the moment?
Do they care? Because they'll find a reason to invalidate the poll. The right? They'll say, well, this person who conducted the poll is a known PLP or whatever, or this one.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Right? This person, they only talk to people in Engliston for their poll. They'll find a reason to say this doesn't apply to us. So they don't care. But what was he asking him to move to England in July? What's he can't travel? I don't understand what you're saying. What's happening? What am I missing? You might be right. I just don't know. Maybe educate me, please. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Chain of command. All of this is that those persons, I'm sure you have subordinates who work at your area, and it's all of this is that you have to investigate exactly what may have happened, what may have gone wrong, and then the superior comes in and say, okay, this is what we have to make an adjustments to. Now, the minister will come in if there's a problem, and then if he has to make recommendations to remove or switch around persons, that's a different story. But the minister doesn't really get involved in the day-to-day operation. And those persons like managers and chairmen who make decisions on behalf of these companies, private companies or corporations.
What are we talking about here?
We'll be talking about someone calling about the MP. Should why this happened with the fire thing with the MP, but the MP doesn't kick it. You have a chair.
No, we're saying the MPs should ask if the government isn't willing to say, if the minister isn't willing to say something. That's what they can do, is demand that we get some answers.
Yeah, you would want to investigate to see if anything went wrong first. And then you have to...
Because we know we can't rely on the ministers to push for an investigation. Well, I'm saying...
You have a senior manager at your corporation.
Yeah, right.
I mean, your company.
When we don't work we don't function like
but I mean,
anything.
I'm just saying, if you know what management is all about, if you study this basic...
Yeah, we know, but that doesn't happen when the government's involved. That's what we're saying, right? We will never hear the answers because of the government. And I don't know why you're so delusional into thinking that that's how it works. We know very well we've not gotten an answer to any investigation that's been held or any suitable answer. So why are you trying to pretend like this is something that they're functioning in the real world where the rest of us are? They aren't. They do whatever suits them best. And if they don't want to answer the question about what happened to the fire truck, they won't. We'll never know. We'll never know until someone leaks it or quits and then tells the story. We will never find out. That's why we have to keep on saying it. So why are we defending foolishness? I don't understand. It must be nice. It must be nice to be blinded by the color that you love so much. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Why am I?
Hey, good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi.
And good morning, Dawn, and good morning to those who wake up in the land of the living. Dwight, sit down for a sec, just for a couple of seconds, and let me defend something, which you don't even have to open your mouth about. That gentleman who calls your talk show just now, Dwight, how could you sit down every day of your life, sir? And I'm sure you can hear me, and see the wrong your government doing, and you still trying to make it right. Why? I mean, Dwight, you come and you get the newspaper, you report these things, and then you have a certain person, him, the gentleman, I know him personally, him and another one, calls your talk show to try to defend wrong, bro. And you're reading Fox, and they still trying to change Dwight Strachan's story into their story or try to benefit for the government. Listen, in this whole BPL thing, Mr. Strachan, the only persons are going to suffer are poor people. The majority of people in this country are people struggling. People don't have no jobs. They ain't been to work for might as well say years now. And they like going to turn off. Talk about those things, man. Talk about your brother and sister don't have something to eat this morning. Stop trying to defend wrong. Stop everybody, the PLP, the FNM, the DNA. If your people wrong, they wrong, man. Stop doing that stuff. You was a big man, all right? Because some of your people, you know, I got to use the word alleged in a good way. You always get your little doggy bone, hypothetically, contract. And you're going to call these radio stations and knowing your brother and sister down the road or your neighbor ain't got something to eat. It's wrong, Dwight. It's wrong, and I am sick and tired of it as a Bahamian, not as a PLP supporter, but as a Bahamian, to see your brothers. People call these talk shows and defending wrong, Dwight, just because they're getting a little doggy bone. Have a good day, my brother.
Dwight, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. We'll lay off the calls for a little bit. How about that? We got a lot of text messages. Let's go to those. But I don't understand it. I don't understand it as well, Dwight. Why? Come on, man. Anyway, okay. What's this now? Okay. Wow. This one says here, I don't think there will be a snap election. They're going to write out the team or the term. I truly think that the narrative is played out and that it was a chess move by the PM to get the opposition to burn through their campaign finances. Yes, quite a few have said that before. In regards to FOIA, I said months ago there was no use in implementing FOIA without the necessary infrastructure in place. It would just be the process. It would make the process frustrating. But the appointment of a commissioner and deputy commissioner is a step in the right direction. Hopefully, it's a first step of many more steps to come. Totally agree with you, but they had said this was going to be happening years ago, right? This was all supposed to happen years ago. And the consultants and all the things they're just going to start to do in a few months, that was supposed to be happening during this time. And that when they came back to us, the whole thing will be ready to go. But we still are basically at the starting line. Basically. And now we have to wait at least 6 months before it can be up and running. So what have they been doing? Another one here. These text messages are getting more and more unreadable. With all the cries for the freedom of information from the media, other than the media, will Bahamians now go and dive into the information and read, or will we actually be forwarding non-factual voice clips? Well, that doesn't matter. Right? That you don't need to be concerned about that. Why? Why would you even? Okay. We introduced something new with the Freedom of Information Act and Commission. We said we need consultants to come in and assist with the setup, and the best place we can deposit this new knowledge is into 2 retirees. This is a third world country, eh? I don't think that's necessary to say that. I mean, come on. At least we have somebody better than we were a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. This one here, the reason for the early election talk is that times will most likely get worse. Advisors tell the PM that it's better to take your chances now or earlier because it's clear that things will get worse, especially if the upcoming budget forecasts stringent measures that may not be welcomed by the masses. Yeah, okay. Someone says, I was there witnessing the fire, and fire trucks arrived with water, but exhausted the volume of water. Firemen worked feverishly to extinguish the flames, but fire spread quickly to engulf homes. Okay, all right, well then, right, so issue a statement. Come and say we did our investigation. The trucks did have water. That's not true. That what people are trying to say about this, that's not how it went, and it was a terrible situation that got out of control. Say something. Another one here. How long did it take the government to present the Department of Disaster Preparedness after Dorian? FOIA is a hot potato that will turn cold every pre-election year. It's going to drag on for the next 25 years, it seems. Boy. This one here, Dwight and Dawn, this problem with the fire trucks is decades old. The problem is low water pressure from the fire hydrants. Also, they are also decades old. Remember the Straw Market fire? Yep. Okay, and this one here. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, freedom of information as a text is difficult because the governments, F&M and PLP, are trying to make people feel that they got useful information without it being useful. But we know how it's going to work. I mean, even when we get this, we know that it's going to be, you'll probably get 3 words on a page because everything will be redacted, more than likely. And so we will still require our leakers out there to be busy and doing their thing, I'm sure. All right, let's take a couple more calls before we break for news. Good morning, caller on the air.
Hello, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
How you doing today, Jen?
Doing well.
Morning.
Good, excellent. I understand that you had Royal Caribbean on your show yesterday morning.
We did, yes.
Did they confirm that they have a Crown land lease?
No, they do not. They say they are still talking with the government.
Aye, exactly. And you know they can't negotiate Crown land if it's in litigation, right?
Well, it seems like they have a long way to go. Is this Mr. Smith?
Yes, it is indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you didn't get to hear it yesterday.
I did not get to hear. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I was down at Rawson Square asking Prime Minister Minnis actually why is he double dealing Crown land and giving me a lease and then telling RCL that they straight too.
Mm-hmm. Well, some interesting things were said. You should pick up today's National Guardian. They've done some stories on it in today's Guardian business section. But they did say on the show that that if they don't get the Crown land they're looking for, they will likely not be able to do the project. So
excellent. So they should be looking out for Bahamians and what's right sized for the Bahamians, and not going and buying up a whole bunch of residential land on PI and then come lately and try putting in for Crown land. It's a bad business strategy on their side.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he had some interesting things. This is Russell Benford was on, and it sounded like the project could do some good things for some people, right? But I don't know how it would affect you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how we get ourselves into these situations. You know, it's very, very odd.
I'll help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
How we get ourselves in these situations is by Prime Minister Minnis giving me a Crown land lease, and after that, just to get the Grand Lucayan deal done, he's making assurances to Royal Caribbean that they could get Crown land. So the problem is Mount could say anything.
Yeah. Boy, we got to have you on at some point, Toby Smith. Thank you very much. You got a break for news.
Thank you too, my brother. Have a super day, guys.
You too. All right, we're gonna have a lot more of what's in the news to talk about after this news break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
And just pretended like you didn't care. I don't know why I run away. I'll make you cry when
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's Tuesday, May 4th, 2021, and you're listening to the Guardian News Network Morning Report. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping the news, Central Bank Governor John Roll is warning that government may have to complete significant borrowing to get the country's economy over the next few critical months. Kyle Joaquin reports.
What is important is to manage a continuous transition through the present months and into the third and fourth quarter. I think that's what's important for the Bahamas.
During the first quarter of 2021, the Bahamas remains under the constraints of the COVID-19 pandemic, with a significant weakness in tourism, decreased spending among Bahamian households, and increased strain on public finances. And as the Ministry of Finance is in the process of working on the upcoming budget, the question is, how much will the government have to borrow? According to Roll, based on projections, that number will be significant.
From a financing point of view, the government will have still significant needs. And I'm not basing this upon anything that I've seen within the preparation of the government. It's just the reality. The government will continue to have some important financing needs.
Anticipated borrowing was something we asked State Minister for Finance Kwesi Thompson about last week. However, he shied away from it. There have also been concerns about a potential increase in taxes to help keep the economy afloat. According to Roll, there is no policy advice to increase taxes at this time.
We need to be thinking beyond the present when we talk about rebuilding the public finances. So there is no advice being given to government or strong advice being given to governments globally that they should be raising taxes in the middle of a pandemic.
While delivering the central bank's report for the first quarter of 2021, Roll says the good news is that government still has some wiggle room when it comes to its reserves. However, he says the full impact of the pandemic on the country's economy is still yet to be realized. For example, banks are seeing an increase in delinquencies, a 50% drop in people applying for loans, and more loan applications being denied.
As usual, the common reasons for unsuccessful loan requests continue to be assessment of already high debt levels or insufficient earnings relative to employment or full versus underemployment being comfort for banks. Banks also refuse applicants who were considered to lack sufficient security or collateral backing for new debt.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, with this country recording more than 1,200 new COVID-19 cases in April, PLP leader Philip Davis says those numbers serve as an indictment of the administration's failure to appropriately fight the virus. Jasmine Brown has that.
There's no doubt that this government is continually dropping the ball.
The Bahamas is in the midst of what health officials have determined is a third wave of COVID-19 infections. There has been a significant uptick in new cases in recent weeks. The Bahamas recorded more than 1,200 new cases of COVID-19 in April, nearly double the number confirmed in March.
Hundreds of cases turn into thousands. And now we are having thousands turning into more thousands because they did not heed our warning in June.
Despite the recent surge in numbers, Minister of Health Renwood Wells and Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis insist there is no need to increase restrictions and have instead called for greater adherence to and enforcement of the measures already in place. But Davis maintains there is inadequate testing and contact tracing.
So this is what we have. This is the result of all these failed efforts on the part of this government to put in place the proper protocols. It's one thing to talk about, yes, we are testing, but you have to have a plan about testing. And you have to understand what you're testing. When you talk, yes, we are contact tracing, but are you contact tracing? When many persons are calling to say that you're not even contacting them.
The Bahamas remains under a state of emergency, which was implemented back in March 2020 and empowers the competent authority, the Prime Minister, to implement various measures to curb the spread of COVID-19. Under various emergency orders, the Bahamas was placed under 24-hour lockdowns and curfews. Many of those measures were relaxed after the country withstood its second wave of COVID cases late last year.
Well, some residents along Jenny Street were picking up the pieces after a devastating fire destroyed 10 homes there Sunday. Giorgio Bain returned to the neighborhood to find out how they are coping.
As he stood in the scorched rubble where his Jenny Street home of nearly 20 years once stood, Thomas Daxon vowed to rebuild. When the Nassau Guardian arrived at the scene of yesterday's destructive fire, we met Daxon sifting through his toolbox. Hoping to salvage badly burnt tools that he now needs to restart his life. He also came back for a piggy bank, hoping that the coins inside are still salvageable. He lost his home, his fishing boat that helped him to provide for his family, and gardening tools that he used for his second job.
I got a little piggy bank I had to save. At least they didn't burn, so I tried. That's some rusty. So it's still rusty. I know we can get them clean again. That's about all I got to salvage. Everything else gone. All the clothes I had gone, the boat, gone and so forth,
Burnt trees, charred vehicles, and yards of debris is all that's left in the aftermath of Sunday's fire that ripped through 6 homes and left 4 homes in need of extensive repairs. 73-year-old Andrew Griffin sat on a bucket outside of what's left of his family home. While he lost everything in the fire, he said he's grateful that his elderly mother, who is now in hospital, wasn't badly injured.
I was picking up some food for a neighbor house, and she come in the house and tell me it's fire. And I look outside and I see a big blaze over there. So I call the fire truck. But after that, I just, my mind went to her voice. And the lady assisted me by getting out. And then that was it. The fire, the heat was so hot that we couldn't get back inside the house. But I thank God for her that she's still alive.
Though no human lives lost, several dogs were not as fortunate, such as this Rockwilder we understand was affectionately called Brownie. She was pregnant and unable to break free of her chain when the fire started. Thomas Daxon also lost a furry friend. After he freed his puppy, Girlie, she ran into the burning house, seemingly spooked by the flames.
I really missed her. She was always trying to put me down. I was running around.
And there just wasn't enough time to get her out of the fire?
What? I wasn't paying no attention. I went in the house, she went up. And I went out, she didn't come in. Yeah, she was turning back to leave. And I wasn't paying no attention.
According to Daxon, residents in the area complained about the yard where the fire reportedly started, but nothing ever came out of those complaints.
The fellow who's, what do you call it, squatting, right next door where the pallets was, we've been complaining about for months and months and months, and no police came and said they can move them. Fellas, they keep coming back. You run them off, they come right back. They ain't lock up none of them, That's the sort of thing started the fire.
The residents believe more could have been done to save their homes.
With the fire trucks, first of all, in the 21st century, they was using bucket of water to out the lamp hole, and then one of the trucks came and break down. Two trucks came, and one had to go back for more water, went back for water, and came back again, and then, I mean, they could have saved this house. They could have saved at least this, and that home there, and the ones over there.
The fire engine, them didn't have enough water. The fire engine, some people say the fire engine break down, right? And the fire engine, them need to be updated.
The cleanup process is underway as dumpsters and tractors were brought into the area by PLP candidate Lisa Ramming. Utility workers were also in the area repairing damaged wires and poles. This was a promising sign for residents who say they plan to rebuild. For the Guardian News Network, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Bahamas Power and Light is blaming fuel logistics for power interruptions at its Blue Hills power plant. The company chose not to go into much further explanation of the problem, but in a joint statement with their fuel service provider, Sunoil Limited, the company said Sunoil has assured that all necessary steps are being taken to stabilize the power supply while taking corrective actions. Still, the company warns its customers to expect short power outages until that matter is remedied. Stay with us, there's more news after the break.
Apex Award Signs and Engraving is excited about this summer's graduation. Celebrate your graduates with high-quality custom graduation signs available at great low prices. Need custom printing on apparel, promotional merchandise printing, or photo imaging services? No problem. You can get personalized diploma covers, plaques, plates, albums, clocks, pens, pencils, and so much more. Say congratulations to the class of 2021 with signs, hanging banners, and expressing appreciation on social media. Celebrate 2021 graduates with your own custom yard sign, banner, or poster. From Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue, or on Wilton Street, a block north of McCartney's Pharmacy. Open weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 9 to 1.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Your big day coming, what you want?
I know, but you're seeing too far behind, eh? Anyhow, I want Junior to give me washing machine.
Washing machine? What you want washing machine for?
Well, since Junior working on the island now and 3 people got to use your car, I figure we could wash right here.
You got line, eh?
Not yet.
And if you wash here, what we can talk about?
That's true.
If you wash here, how we can catch capsaicin?
That's true, eh?
And if you ain't got no line, how we post to dry if you wash here?
That's true.
Okay, so what you want Junior get you again?
$1,600 worth of tokens. That's how much the washing machine costs.
Now you're talking, and I'll reserve the car for every Saturday.
Gone for that. So what you want for your big day?
Half of them tokens.
My lord.
Summer wash. We washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Introducing the new Slices and Sticks from Little Caesars, an unexpected combination. 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, only for $9. Didn't expect that one, right? Grab the new Slices and Sticks at Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, or East Street South in the Pineapple Plaza. That's 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, all for only $9. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza. At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Welcome back. The new Information Commissioner is vowing to keep his office free from political influence. Berthany McDermott has that.
Moments after officially receiving his instruments of appointment for his new role as Information Commissioner, retired Supreme Court Justice Keith Thompson affirmed his commitment to not allow politics to influence the Commission's work.
I am committed, as I was on the bench, as I was at the Industrial Tribunal, to being fair and to make sure that we met out justice to everyone. This office is not about partisan politics. This office is about seeking to give information.
In the run-up to the 2017 general election, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis campaigned on transparency and accountability, promising legislation to stamp out corruption and improve public access to information. On Sunday, Attorney General Carl Bethel described the Freedom of Information Act as a cornerstone of modern democracy.
This is an historic day in the life of the people and the government of the Bahamas, of which I am delighted to be a part. We are excited about the prospects of the Freedom of Information Office and the democratic process that it represents.
On Sunday, the AG also announced the Freedom of Information Office opened Monday after a number of delays. During Sunday's conference, he noted that it will take another 6 months before the office begins providing services. However, today he says he's aiming for a second quarter start. Meantime, the newly minted Information Commissioner says the first order of business is an assessment.
The plan is, as I said, we go in, we make an assessment as to where we're at based on the work that has been done from 2018, and then we move from there with a view to trying to establish the office to a point where we can begin to serve the public.
Now, Thompson stressed that work to get the commission up and running won't happen overnight. He said he, along with other members of the commission, will first have to go through training.
Training would be to visit a country. I think it'll be Jamaica, who now have a Freedom of Information Office that is completely functional, and they've had it for quite some time, to go and have a look and see how it functions so that we can learn and adapt.
Training on FOIA began in 2018 but was interrupted by the pandemic. The FOIA was passed under the Ingram administration. However, the Christie administration decided the act needed extensive changes. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Berthany McDermott.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
I bank wherever I want thanks to Scotia Online and Mobile. I bank from my garden. I bank from my living room. I also bank from my kitchen. No need to wait in line. Now when I bank with Scotia, I bank on my own time. Seniors, you too can bank your way any time of day without ever going into a branch. Find out more. To get started, visit bs.scotiabank.com/digital seniors.
Been up, I pinned it the other day and I meet one whale hook hanging by the front door. I say, what it is, Ahab? What's with the hook? Then I say, Lampkin, I ain't taking no chances. I hear the ministry say we got to be careful of the corona spike. He only got to tell me once. I want to see him come in here. I'll show him what spike look like. I say, oh, okay. I thought you was trying to hook people with your great selection of granite, marble, porcelain, and ceramic. He said, that ain't bad, Lampkin. I tell you, you continues to surprise me. Pender Tile on Prince Charles Drive. We sells tile.
Reggie gone to Sunrise one day and tell Miss Wallace, I need a band for my watch, please. Miss Wallace say, Reginald, do have a seat and we'll be with you in a minute. He say, well, you just suffer from this too. She say, suffer from what? He say, this. She say, oh, that. Well, I tries to tailor make my services them to fit the needs of all of my customers. Reggie get excited. He say, that's amazing. I get a couple of more watches. I can bring them to you to more. She say, more. He say, yeah. She say, Reggie, I'll be here from 9 o'clock in the morning.
Sun Isles Watch and Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch and clock sales and repairs for over 40 years.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
The Department of Statistics will conduct a listing exercise beginning May 2021 to support the new digital data collection interview process for the 2021 census. As a test, enumerators with official identification from the department will visit selected buildings and dwellings on New Providence and Grand Bahama from May 3rd through the 5th. Persons will be asked to provide contact information to support the digital interview process. All information provided will be kept in the strictest confidence and be used for statistical purposes only. The Department of Statistics thanks you for your support as we prepare for Census 2021. The count still depends on you.
Serenity Gated Community. Come and see what all the buzz is about surrounding our pre-construction home packages. Already, we have successfully made it possible for multiple families to realize their dream of home ownership. It's all about value building, folks. Home investment is by far the greatest investment one will ever make. So invest with confidence. Give Desiree Mingo a call at 376-0318 today.
Welcome home. If you're a business owner, get ready because the digital transformation is here. As a business owner, you now face the choice between innovation and extinction, but you don't have to get left behind. Join the click with Cable Bahamas Business Solutions and transform your office to get the competitive advantage. With innovative solutions like our fixed and mobile services, hosted PBX, Bahamas Cloud, and more, you can redefine your business. For more information on how you can join the click, contact the experts at Business Solutions at cablebahamas.com.
Jero, jump in the car. Hey girl, your new ride looking good. Yeah, it was rough. No one wanted to insure me as a new driver, and cause I young. Thank goodness Jason told me about Shield Insurance right there across from the police college on Thompson Boulevard. Shield hooked me up with one solid policy at a decent price, minus the shade. Them other companies was joking. Well, I'm glad you get straight. Call Shield Insurance in Nassau or Freeport. They've got you covered.
Shield Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 4224796 standard text rate supply. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got high pressure over the area. That's going to support some warm conditions and moderate to fresh breezes. And there's some special warnings today. We've got the risk of rip currents, especially along eastern and southern shorelines in the southeast Bahamas. For all areas today, your forecast calls for partly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with a chance of a few stray showers, turning fair and warm tonight. A small craft caution remains in effect for boaters in the southeast Bahamas. Temperature-wise today, look for highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will continue across the area through Thursday while gradually shifting eastwards in response to an approaching frontal system. Don't expect temperatures to fall, but Wednesday, look for partly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with a few possible passing showers, turning partly cloudy and warm at night. And Thursday, partly cloudy, hot, and a bit breezy with a few passing showers. Increased cloudiness at night in the northwest Bahamas with isolated showers and a few possible thunderstorms. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. Today, 24, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. At this hour, the usual hot spots are hot at this time. We've got in your real-time traffic, Sir Mile Butler Highway, the heavy traffic, northbound lanes as usual, from Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Fire Trail also backed up eastbound, heading towards that roundabout with Mile Butler Highway at this hour. Gladstone Road looking a bit better for you this morning. Northbound not as heavy as usual, and that might be a better alternate route for you than Sir Mile Butler Highway. Eastbound on Carmichael looking busy, especially the closer you get to Blue Hill Road, which is challenged this morning from well south of St. Vincent Road all the way up to Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road there. Heavy traffic in the northbound lanes heading towards Independence Drive. Independence Drive also backed up heavy westbound traffic towards that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. So keep that in mind. You might want to find a better route, like perhaps Robinson, at this hour if you're heading west. Soldier Road also seeing some issues, especially the closer you get to East Street, eastbound, and Windsor Place. And then further up north as you get to that intersection with Bernard Road and Wolf Road and Village Road, just very congested there. Bernard Road also very busy, especially westbound this morning between Foxhill Road and that intersection with Soldier Road, Village Road there. So keep that in mind. Eastern Road also busy from well east of Foxhill Road, from about San Susie all the way up to Johnson Road and pretty much Montague. So that's going to be a mess for you this morning. And Prince Charles Drive looking a little bit better, but still pockets, heavy pockets at major spots, major intersections. Other hot spots, Marathon Road and pockets along Mackey Street at this hour. Those are your hot spots this morning, your real-time traffic, and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
control of me. I just can't refuse it. 'Cause tomorrow's not promised to no one to live there. Hey, come on. Right now I'm feeling. Right now I'm feeling good. Right now I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. Right now I'm feeling.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Don Sargent. Don? Still there? Yes?
Still there, Dwight.
Okay, very, very good. Got to check. We got to check. All right, so we are talking about what's in the news. There have been a lot of issues that we've been discussing so far this morning. More signs of an early election. We're talking about BPL, back to their nonsense. Fuel logistic issues, whatever that means. And so they're warning people that there may be power cuts. And politics has come up, of course, as it always does, and sprinkled in with COVID. But FOIA is still getting a lot of attention, and you might have heard that just now in the news, but we're going to play this again for you about where we are with FOIA, with the office opening up yesterday, but still a long way to go before we have access to the information that we might be seeking. Take a listen to this report from our Berthany McDermott.
Moments after officially receiving his instruments of appointment for his new role as Information Commissioner, retired Supreme Court Justice Keith Thompson affirmed his commitment to not allow politics to influence the Commission's work.
I am committed, as I was on the bench, as I was at the Industrial Tribunal, to being fair and to make sure that we met out justice to everyone. This office is not about partisan politics. This office is about seeking to give information.
In the run-up to the 2017 general election, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis campaigned on transparency and accountability, promising legislation to stamp out corruption and improve public access to information. On Sunday, Attorney General Carl Bethel described the Freedom of Information Act as a cornerstone of modern democracy.
This is an historic day in the life of the people and the government of the Bahamas, of which I am delighted to be a part. We are excited about the prospects of the Freedom of Information Office and the democratic process that it represents.
On Sunday, the AG also announced the Freedom of Information Office opened Monday after a number of delays. During Sunday's conference, he noted that it will take another 6 months before the office begins providing services. However, today he says he's aiming for a second quarter start. Meantime, the newly minted Information Commissioner says the first order of business is an assessment.
The plan is, as I said, we go in, we make an assessment as to where we're at based on the work that has been done from 2018, and then we move from there with a view to trying to establish the office to a point where we can begin to serve the public.
Now, Thompson stressed that work to get the commission up and running won't happen overnight. He said he, along with other members of the commission, will first have to go through training.
Training would be to visit a country. I think it'll be Jamaica, who now have a Freedom of Information Office that is completely functional, and they've had it for quite some time, to go and have a look and see how it functions so that we can learn and adapt.
Training on FOIA began in 2018, but was interrupted by the pandemic. The FOIA was passed under the Ingram administration. However, the Christie administration decided the act needed extensive changes. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Berthany McDermott.
I think that was one of the funniest stories we've run in a few days on the news here. But are you listening to the language that they're using there? It's very, very... They had a thesaurus to pick out all the words that kind of... work with start. So we're going to start to begin to make steps in preparation of embarking on the initial pathways towards finding a way to discover methods that will lead to one day kind of, sort of, almost pretty much have a FOIA in the Bahamas, sort of, right? I mean, what's happening? This is nowhere near being a thing. And, be afraid. And then what's the Attorney General talking about the second quarter of what? We're already there, aren't we? Are we almost done, Don, with the second quarter? What am I missing again?
What you're missing, Dwight, is that you see things incorrectly. You have to see it his way of seeing it, and then it all will just make sense. All right, Dwight, you have to open your third eye, and sorry, again, it's absurd.
Right. Yes.
We live in strange times, man. I'm actually surprised he said that. I was halfway expecting some statement about did the FNM promise this on the campaign trail? I think not. But no, he didn't do that,
They're going to
I don't know,
travel
Dwight.
now. What were they
Huh?
doing? They're going to now travel to other jurisdictions to see how it works. But this is what I thought that's what you were doing. We thought that's what you were doing all this time. You said you were doing the preparation, the groundwork. That's what you said. What were you doing?
Just like I said is what I expected him to say that. We never said
Oh my God.
Oh, I don't know. I think there was a breakdown in communication. There may have been a plan they already had, and it just, like, someone was just like, yo, this is kind of stupid. And they were like, all right, let's go back to the drawing board. I don't know, Dwight.
Not even.
I'm trying to make sense of things that don't make sense to us.
But all the those types will call us and say,
You should be grateful. Y'all have been talking about this for years. You're finally getting it. Now you're complaining.
oh yeah, we're complaining because we've been tricked. We've been tricked. That's why. You said this is what you were doing. We expected you to come and say, hey, we're open for business. That's what we expected after all this time. Now you're about to start the work? What?
Does election coming, Dwight? Gotta get some of them promises in, man. Got a couple donks, low-hanging fruit. Get some hoops and some nets. And then people will be like, look, we bust all these three-pointers right before the bell rings. So,
And again, he says
MVP?
second quarter. It clearly can't be this second quarter, as this second quarter is almost over. Which second quarter? Which one? Maybe it's the fiscal year second quarter. Maybe that's it. So the end of the year, perhaps. Okay, anyway, let's see what you have to say about it, folks. Again, we should be grateful. We should be thankful. They're finally, 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. They're about to start to begin to embark on the steps toward preparing to look at the sort of kind of find a way. Oh my gosh. Anyway, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Here's a good part, right?
Huh?
Well, I wouldn't say a good part. It makes me wonder then, is there going to be a similar move in the direction for local government, right? Because there was a whole report. You were part of the committee as well.
One second. That's don't hold your breath on that one. Clearly, right? That was the biggest sham of all time. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dwight and Dawn. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Morning,
Dawn, you
still
done?
alive.
All right, morning. Okay, great. And good morning to the nation. It's interesting as you all have been analyzing and discussing all morning, but it's not surprising, Dwight, when you look at the fact that we have a Fiscal Responsibility Act that's been passed, and there's a Fiscal Responsibility Council that supports that act, a group of Bahamian professionals whose responsibility is supposed to be to track and analyze and assess the state of affairs in the economy and track and analyze and report on government spending. But after over 1 year of this legally binding council being in place, they have yet to report. And it's no fault of theirs. It's strictly at the feet of the government of the Bahamas, who speaks about transparency and accountability. And then, again, of course, with this whole FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, the government is pretty much on the cusp of, hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
Yeah, the government is pretty much on the cusp of general elections. And they are now trying to come to the Bahamian people with a freedom of information, which does not allow for the Bahamian people to dig into the affairs of governance where they have been failing over the last 4 years. And so their timing is definitely perfect for them, because it frees them up from, similar to the Fiscal Responsibility Council, it frees them up from any level of transparency or accountability. Of course, you have whatever happened to the Oban files, right? Whatever happened to the investigation at BPL, where $70 million of Bahamian equipment was destroyed and no one was held accountable. And Dwight, I can go on and on and on and on. Everything at the end just adds up to there is no transparency. Can you hear me, Dwight?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There is no transparency, there is no accountability, and there's very little truth coming from the government of the Bahamas. We have the latest fiasco where the chair lady for the vaccine committee, the director for HIV/AIDS and infectious disease, told the Bahamian people that we are in a third wave on the cusp of the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health telling the Bahamian people that we're not in a third wave. And so there's very little that you could believe coming from this government based on the facts that are on the record. This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with facts that are on the record, easily verifiable facts. And at the end of the day, I'll make this point, this final point, Dwight. I'm looking forward to hearing from the Prime Minister, from the government of the Bahamas, on what timely action they're going to take to bring the level of assistance that is needed to help to ease the burdens Bahamian families are enduring after that massive fire that took place over the weekend. We have yet to have them report on it, and we need to know what they're going to do for poor Bahamians in this country at a time when they need them, when they need their government, and they need to hear from their government most, because the Prime Minister always cleans. He comes from the ghetto. He comes from over the hill. He understands the cries and he understands the needs. So answer the call, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you for the opportunity, Dwight. God bless.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Dwight, how you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning, Don. My Jack Don. How you doing, Don?
Still living.
Dwight, yeah, good morning, Bahama. Dwight, let me tell you something, right? I listen to all these people talk, right? And I listen to them talk, debate. I feel sorry for them. I could debate the debate. Because he's something like me, straight down the middle. I can tell you for the last time, Dwight, and Don, your young independent Bahamians. You all are the real Bahamians. The Moses couldn't case. This holiday last time around, Dog, David, a lot of Santa Martin, Fred Mitchell, this all they did 3 score and 10. God and case them. Don't care what they try to do. Nothing will be changed until 2027. But what we need to do now is put the real Bahamian people in position in ministries, for example, PSS directors, who are going to do their jobs. I don't want anybody getting a job talking, I just put in time my pension. See, they weak people. Anybody who only civil service and say wrong and knowing wrong and they say nothing, they're guilty also. See, when I go in the ballot box to vote, I see PLP, FNO, there. I ain't in the Christian Council, and I haven't seen no civil rights activists, etc., etc. If you had a lottery, if you had money to deal with most of these issues, okay? If all that dormant money in the central bank, go get that money, right? That's over $10 billion sitting there. The American over $7 billion for control in our space. They need to go negotiate and get $3 billion, see, right? All of the taxes they owe, the Bank of Bahama, they borrow $500 million. Go get these monies, right? We know who own these things. We know who got shares and these oil companies, man. And that's why I keep telling you all the Freedom of Information Act can put a lot of them in trouble. I want to see the land registration act so I can see who owns this land. Then we'll tax them and take these things back on the people, man.
Okay.
And thanks for taking my call.
Thanks a lot. Let's read some text messages. Somebody says here, freedom of information is difficult because the governments, the FNM, and PLP are trying to make people feel they got useful information without it being useful. I think we read that already, but they go on to say, so the Freedom of Information Commissioner, his first move is to travel. They can't figure out how Jamaica's freedom of information works without going there. Apparently not. I don't know what that one is about. This one here. Dwight, bravo. You appear to have found the AG's thesaurus playbook. Words that mean nothing gonna happen. It's very sad. It's very sad. We should ask for a written timeline. That's a text. Yeah, you'll need you need FOIA for that. You'll need the FOIA for that one.
A very good command of the English language in terms of like words that are rarely used.
Yes.
Jeff Lloyd, like sometimes when he speaks, like I have to Google the word. So like, does that word mean that? Then it does.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. They've been expanding vocabulary.
Yes, Fred Mitchell as well is also very good at that. Fred Mitchell's also very good at that. These are wordsmiths. We need them at our University of the Bahamas. That's where they should be.
Yeah, man. They need to teach English. Like, No insult to anybody who really teaches it.
Sure,
But I'm just
sure,
saying,
sure,
like,
yeah.
like they oftentimes have me Googling words because I don't know the meaning of them and expands my vocabulary.
They're bringing
so
English
I guess
back.
there's a positive in there somewhere.
Yes. This one here says, why do we need to pattern our Freedom of Information Act after Jamaica? We don't have to go there for anything. We should know exactly what we want as a country. This is a waste of money and time. Okay. All right. Why do they have to, more of this, why do we have to travel to countries to examine FOIA? Can't we just read legislation and study relevant cases? Like, really? Another one. What Justice Thompson said makes no sense. There are online FOIA courses, and why couldn't they hire someone with data management experience? Their university degrees for these. What we have is more of the job training, aka incompetence in public departments. More on-the-job training. Okay. That is a clear case of running out the clock. FOIA enactment will not see the light of day. Yikes. Okay. Oh, boy, these text messages. Someone says, why do we need to pattern our freedom? This is all everyone's asking. Why do we need to pattern our Freedom of Information Act after Jamaica? We don't have to go. We read that. They said it twice. Thank you. Okay. And no party will ever properly implement the FOIA bill. But come what may, minutes may not be PM after the election. The deceit is palpable. His special interest decision is why I will be baking in my house this summer. Oh, Brave got to go too. Signed an F&M supporter. Baking as in cookies, or you mean just the heat from BPL? Which one are you talking about? What type of bake? Or both? Maybe you have a gas stove.
Depends. If
gas
you have a
stove.
stove that needs electricity to be on, I guess
it won't be baking cookies. No. So, but you might have a gas stove. So, but you'll be baking at any event. At any event. That's what we can expect this summer. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. So let's hear from you. Instead of complaining about all this, let's talk about what we would expect, what we would have expected to hear, what we want to hear about FOIA going forward. What do you think should be happening now? What is the direction we should be going? Right? What should be the next step? Let's start to begin to make steps to hear these from you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight Strong.
Hi, good morning.
You was reading minds. I mean, this morning you cut me and you know what I was going to say.
Yeah, I didn't like where you were going. You sounded like you're going to cause some problems. You're not going to
to
bring that up again, are you? Yep. We don't need hearsay and speculation and slander here.
Can I say wait, please?
Okay, don't go where you were going before, though.
No. I'm just trying to say, do you realize I was never sued before, but no politician? I don't lie to nobody, no. What I'm trying to say
There's always a first time, Dave. Always a first time. Always a first time. Always a first time.
No,
but it won't be just you getting sued. It'll be us, too. So...
Sorry, listen to me. I apologize. I'll not put you in no harm's way, okay? So,
again.
No. Hey, no intent, okay?
Okay.
No, Mr. Strong, no. I just to say one thing. People saying they don't like, first of all, the Constitution say from elections are called essential police officers, defense officers, they have the right to decide if they want to vote early. True or false?
Okay.
No, I'm asking true or false. That's true, right?
Yes.
So all they saying, they don't like how the memo came down that to bring in their voters card, they rank and so, and they are being forced to vote early. Okay?
That's not what that said.
No, Mr. Strong. I'm just trying to tell you what was said by police officers, okay?
Okay.
No, I ain't calling anybody name, okay? Mr. Strong. No, another thing too, right? I can tell you yesterday, with all due respect, this thing is a slush fund for F&M's family, friends, and lovers. Because, like you said earlier, let's be real now. This Freedom of Information Act was passed by Mr. Fitzgerald and the PLP in 2012. True or false? Pardon me?
There was something, yes.
No, Mr. Strong.
But the FOIA is a slush fund? That's what you're saying?
No,
How?
Strong, first of all, Keith Thompson, nothing against him. This man just retired. Why you cannot give somebody young who are knowledgeable? Why you always picking these retreads from them, the headboards? Okay? Hello?
You're listening.
Pardon me?
We are listening.
And another thing, right? Another thing, the Prime Minister needed to go on Jane Street, let the people know what he could do for them. I mean, that's ridiculous. On the 5th before the state, needed to hold the FM government to 34th. Frankie Campbell, Social Minister, he need to go around there, let people know what they could do for them. Do you agree?
You tried to talk about this yesterday.
Pardon me?
social services, yes, needs to go there.
First of all, I don't know if you do it intentionally, but not you. I never said the government puts the belongs back. All I'm trying to say is the government needs to go, let the people know what they can do for them. Do you agree with that?
Yes, the various departments that are responsible for those
No,
things.
the Prime Minister needs to go.
Why?
Forget department. This man all about giving committees and stuff. You get Natalia Bentley, you get this person, these public knowledge, so I ain't filming nobody.
Just love
all
to
I'm
say
trying
the
to say
names,
is,
though.
this country getting run like a talk shop. So the elements of the media, he ain't saying nothing. Mr. Strachan, last thing, Mr. Strachan, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I know this. You sit back and let JJ say, grandson and Martin and Brave, they were station. And you ain't saying nothing.
Well, he said everybody of that age group.
No, he ain't going to
I did cringe, but I mean, he said the whole age group, which is a bit much.
No, he called names, though. He called grandson and Martin, Brave Davis.
What? Okay.
Be fair, okay?
It's a little bit different from what you're saying.
No.
It's a little.
I hear you.
It's a little bit different, though.
But to make a long story
I mean,
short,
that was uncalled for as well. But
tell
a
the
little.
Prime Minister, go in the community, let people know what he can do for them, and tell Marvin James they ain't for this election, okay?
Okay.
All right? They ain't for this election, okay?
Thank you very much. I think we've got to take a break after that one. Let's take a commercial.
Sure
break.
told you, Dwight.
But I'm gonna catch myself during this commercial break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Woke up this morning, time to face a new day. Ain't gonna let nobody put
Gran,
me
it
down.
was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We
really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, Old Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
We are in an age of exponential change. The world is experiencing a technology boom where innovation is at an all-time high. What does this mean for small island nations? How can we adapt to the emerging digital revolution? Join 900 delegates from 3 Caribbean countries at one regional event to tackle the theme, Global Digital Disruption, Threat or Opportunity. The virtual RF Economic Outlook Conference happens on May 6th. Register today at rfeoc.com.
The best place to get a new iPhone is at BTC. Make the iPhone 12 mini yours for just $199. That's big savings to go with our sweet postpaid value of unlimited local calls, international minutes, roaming data and minutes, plus all the data you need. Stream, share, and stay connected on the best LTE network when you switch to BTC. Visit a store to sign up today and get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199. Conditions apply.
Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean and pay your credit card online. No need to wait in lines. Pay your CIBC First Caribbean credit card anywhere, anytime via online banking or the mobile app. Don't have online banking? Don't wait. Visit our website, CIBCFCIB.com, to sign up for online banking today. Go cashless with CIBC First Caribbean.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
Meet Jackie. Jackie's a hard worker with a steady income, but she has a personal loan and multiple credit cards to pay off. To keep her account current, Jackie opted for a loan from Fidelity Bank to consolidate her debt into one monthly payment and earn interest on a built-in savings account. Be like Jackie. Call 356-7764 to book a complimentary financial coaching session. Fidelity also offers virtual assistance. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Imagine. That's where every advancement begins, with an idea that things can be different, better, now. Imagine a world where your entertainment experience was all about you, your style, your show, at your budget. At Rev, that's what we've imagined. To join the conversation and learn more about the future of Rev TV, visit us at rev.bs/imagine.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Patrice. Here we go again. Woke up this morning, time to face a new day. Ain't gonna let nobody pull me down, they can't get in my way. See, since I was small, I'm not curious.
And we're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Don Sargent. Don, I think we need to take a little break from the calls. I think they're like, boy, oh boy.
It's going to be great, Dwight.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I see the COVID numbers have started to come down, changing the subject a bit.
What do you
Let's hope
call
that
down?
trend continues.
What do you call down? I don't know if that's...
Pardon?
What do you call down?
Down from the 60s to the 20s, it's at least a New Providence.
See, I think that's the weekend numbers there, right? And so people aren't going in. So let's see what tomorrow brings before we say that.
Lord.
You know, the numbers historically, the numbers have been lower on the Monday after weekend. So we'll see. We'll see what today and tomorrow. Then we can say that. But we have an additional death, which is unfortunate. You know, so this is. Yeah, still pretty bad. Still pretty bad. All right, we've got a few more messages here. Somebody says, "Oh, is this why they're going to Jamaica? Weed is legal in Jamaica." Okay. Well, everybody's a comedian. This one here, hasn't COVID taught them anything? Travel to Jamaica. Why not pattern after the British or the Americans? Well, that shouldn't be your concern. I mean, why do you think they won't have a good system that we could pattern ours after? What's the issue? You'd be quite surprised. Yeah.
I mean, in many regards, it's a policy and just simply articulating policy for everybody to be able to access and read and research. Jamaica is ahead of the Bahamas.
Oh, in many ways.
I don't know if people know this, but like, it's not all negative. Like in some aspects, a lot of the Caribbean have made some strides that the Bahamas is still lagging behind on.
Definitely.
I hope one day we catch up, or at least surpass, or at least move on from the spot that we're currently in.
Yeah.
I don't think we should put our Caribbean neighbors down.
Definitely not. Someone says the colonial mindset is real. Why do we need to follow others? Let's blaze a new trail. Okay, well, sure. That sounds great. But do it. Right?
You know what? Why don't they do it over Zoom?
That can happen. That can happen. I mean, if
save
travel
some
is the
money.
concern, but I don't think travel is the issue. It's where they said they were going. If they said Germany, people would be I don't know if they'd be carrying on the way they are, it seems, this morning,
Well, who did we consult? Was it New Zealand? Like we did for VOD? If they said they were going to New Zealand, you can't go to New Zealand. Anyway, if they said that they were consulting a firm from New Zealand about this, would we have that much of an issue? Would it be the same reaction?
I wonder. Another one here. The trip to Jamaica simply because the new information commissioner and the deputy haven't the faintest clue what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, well. When the commissioner goes over there to Jamaica, wow, what is happening? Everybody's hung up on that. When the commissioner goes over there to Jamaica, he can find out about the adult use of marijuana. My goodness gracious, people, focus. Please bring Dave on your show. The ratings will be high, and so will my blood pressure.
Okay, get the lawyers ready.
We'll do that in a courtroom. Live from the Supreme Court, Morning Blend with Dwight and Dave.
You gotta be careful. You have to be very careful with the things that you say.
Supreme Court of the Department of Correction. What? Oh, any one of those. That's where it'll be. Maybe on the prison bus. Let's do it right through the streets of New Providence that morning. Heading back and forth between the two. This one says, can you and your co-host assist Dave with being more articulate? Oh, no. That's not nice. When will they realize that the family, friends, and lovers are inclusive of both parties? They're sending a lot of interesting text messages this morning. A lot of money being wasted. If the truth was told, PLP or F&M don't have what it takes to deal with FOIA. Let's see how FOIA is done in Singapore. Now, see, okay, this is not right, folks, what you all are suggesting, right? One failed state following the other. I don't know who you're talking about, but I don't think you understand. Yeah, no. As Don was saying, in many ways, many of these other countries, some bigger and some smaller, are way ahead of us. In some ways, the Bahamas is ahead as well, but in many ways, these other countries have moved beyond their colonial trappings and are really establishing themselves in a way we could only dream about. So let's not be silly. When you brought that up earlier, Don, when it comes to local government, how far ahead Jamaica is compared to where we are, we really could learn a lot from what's happening very close to us. We have countries that are more comparable to us in size, as opposed to these big first world powers who don't experience the things we experience. So let's not be dismissive like that. That's not going to help us in any way, shape, or form. And this one says, remember when the Bahamas was ahead of other CARICOM countries? Yep.
Once upon a time, we're no longer there. We're lagging behind in many things. One of the things that I'll just say it, we suck. We are horrible at is data collection and the disbursement of data sets being made available for research.
Yeah.
And it's anything specific, just simple as statistics. Like go Google the statistics of divorces in the Bahamas. You'll see it's a crapshoot, right? You'll see statistics of very precise, very rounded up and complete data sets you'll find for certain years. And then other years, close up to 2020, it's spotty, right? You just anything. There's anything on the Department of Statistics that you want to find. Links are broken consistently or data wasn't published. I think the most reliable source for data sets that you can probably find is from the central bank. And even then, that doesn't give you the full picture of things. Yeah. But it gives you the best snapshot you're ever going to get. So I don't know why we have this perception, right? Like, if you look at the body of research that comes out of the Caribbean, there's just so much more information that's made available to them, and more accurate information, which is why we see consistently bodies like the IDB or the IMF, when they come to in the past, when they've come to the University of the Bahamas and given presentations on the Bahamas profile, they just were dead wrong. And they weren't dead wrong because they don't know what they're doing, because the data sets they were using were old, outdated, or just plain simply sucked. So the people who actually were in the know from the government and the University of the Bahamas had to call them out on it. And it's not necessarily the IMF or the IDB's fault of it. It's just because we suck badly at getting data out there.
Yeah.
And so that has rippling effects for the entire country, because then decisions are made and legislation sometimes is drafted maybe on faulty information or data sets. So just throwing it out there. We shouldn't necessarily throw stones at people just because, our currency is supposedly worth more, GDP per capita is higher. Where you are today doesn't mean you'll be there 10 years from now, right?
Absolutely.
You're always supposed to be moving in a progressive direction.
Yep. As we wrap things up, just a couple more text messages here. Someone says, it's like the team that traveled to Finland. Every new administration sends one, I guess, to inspect their education program. But what happens after all those air miles? Nothing. But we have no one to blame but ourselves for that, if that is the case, right?
Well, hold on, Dwight. They get frequent flyer miles, okay? And then they use those tickets to go and big. I don't know, because I've heard that a lot of that, of them going to Finland and the trips that were taken in the past to Trinidad and Brazil to view their carnival, and then, it seems as if we aren't made aware of the reports. Whatever reports are written about these things,
they're all sitting on shelves. All sitting on shelves.
Policy.
Yep, collecting dust on shelves. That's all. That's all that ever happens. And the final text here: people wondering why, as a nation, we need consultants and models to follow when forming new entities. People need to understand that Sir Lyndon and the PLP did not write our Constitution. Our Constitution is a model of other former British colonies. So you can't expect innovation from a government who has never been innovative. Just like how America has FEMA and now we have NEMA, you must confess that this is a nation of mediocrity. Oh boy, that's a sad note to end on, but we don't have to be trapped in that. We can emerge from this if we have the will and the desire to do that. We can be innovative. We know this. We can see this in the many things people do privately. There's no reason why we can't, as a nation, strive for that and mean it and believe it. Right? Yep. So that's what we are going to focus on. But Don, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
And remember, Dwight, anything is possible so long as the electricity is still on.
Well, then that means we might have some issues. Okay, so stay tuned, folks. Morning Blend Business is coming up. This morning we're going to be talking about Junkanoo with all the news that we have heard over the past few days, especially with cruise home porting and opportunities for expressing our culture. Where is Junkanoo on this? Are we ready for that? We're going to get into that in depth after the break. This is Morning Blend. Stay tuned for Morning Blend Business.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Police are trying to identify the badly burnt body found as firefighters tackled a blaze off 7th Terrace and Fritz Lane this morning. Police Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters says that they were alerted to that blaze at a 2-story building around 3 a.m., and that the tragic discovery was made about 3 hours later.
Sometime around 6 a.m., they conducted a search of the building and discovered the body of a charred remains in a bathroom door of an unidentified person. Police will await the identification of that body to determine that person's identity.
Police say the victim appears to have been the only person living in that part of the building. In other news, the Defense Force is taking initial steps to prepare for a possible early general election. In a memo dated April 29th, acting captain of the Coral Harbor base, Sean Adley, directed the force's heads of department to submit a list of all personnel who would be voting in the advanced poll for the armed forces ahead of Election Day. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has yet to definitively signal whether his government will opt for early elections, even though his party's candidates have been in campaign mode for weeks now. In other news, Bahamas Power and Light is warning of additional power outages while the company and its fuel service provider, Sun Oil Limited, iron out fuel issues at its Blue Hills power plant. There were outages in parts of Central and South New Providence yesterday morning. The company later said it was grappling with what it described as fuel logistics and that Sun Oil was taking all necessary steps to stabilize the power supply. And COVID-19 related deaths have inched up by one. That of a 59-year-old male resident of New Providence, whom the Ministry of Health says passed away April 22nd. Total COVID deaths now stand at 210. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Wait, you know what going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school? He could do Junior in.
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, him and these boys coming for me next.
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I wait?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you will also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Parts of the Deep South are going to see severe weather again today after tornadoes rolled through parts of the region Sunday night and Monday. National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Edmonston is in Mississippi.
Much of Mississippi and Alabama be the focus right now for it, with Tennessee, Georgia, all the way back into East Texas still being under a threat, but not as great as the focus for Mississippi and Alabama.
Meteorologist Mike Edmonston. The AP's Julie Walker.
He says expect up to 5 inches of rain in some parts, flash flooding, and hail the size of golf balls. He says that triple threat will make it worse than Sunday, and so far they've confirmed 8 tornadoes from that day. I'm Julie Walker.
23 dead, dozens injured after a Mexico City subway overpass collapsed, sending a train car plunging toward a busy street. The mayor says there may still be people trapped in the wreckage. I'm Rita Foley.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Final look at traffic now, and unfortunately this late, and those southwest gateways are still problematic. Traffic is really hung up and stuck coming out of Gladstone Road, over the dual lanes of Samalabala Highway, and for what's still left, leaving out of Carmichael Road to get out there on Blue Hill Road. Most of all, even this much after 9 o'clock, it's still slow getting over the hill at Blue Hill Road into that roundabout below at Torrington and Darling. It's also still equally as heavy for those 2 lanes of traffic that's leaving Independence Drive and headed into that East Street roundabout. It's only the traffic slowly getting through the traffic light at Wolf Road and Burnett Road that's still creating some lengthy wait lines on both Burnett Road and Soldier Road. That's heading into that intersection. And then there's the Eastern Road. Saves a while before that traffic leaving from as far back as Fox Road will eventually get out of there. Marathon Road, Wolf Road, East Street in the north, all having the same nominal morning traffic flow at the moment. Fortunately, the ride leaving West Bay Street is hassle-free also at this time. And while slight traffic delays may slow your ride down a bit getting into the 6-leg roundabout, it's not a lengthy wait. You won't be hung up there for any lengthy time at all. And it makes your ride or movement along University Drive back and forth quite easy at the moment. This National Traffic Report is a service of Bahamas Cooperative League Insurance Brokerage Limited. They're located at Russell Road in Oakesfield. BCLIBL offers a great medical plan, general insurance, long-term insurance, and the best rates on your car and home. Follow BCLIBL on Facebook or call them at 302-0100. You're the Around the Sky look at traffic in real time at VANN.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Welcome back, listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Today on the show, we are talking about the potential Junkanoo, especially with new projects in the pipeline and cruise lines home porting right here in Nassau and other parts of the country. Is this the time for Junkanoo to shine on the global stage? We'll talk about the opportunities and what we can learn from the past and what should be the way forward this morning. That's coming up. It's time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. In your morning business report, as the government finalizes its upcoming budget for the 2021-2022 fiscal year, Governor of the Central Bank, John Rawls, says from his point of view, the government will still have significant financing needs heading into the new fiscal period, which starts on July 1st. While Rawls admitted that he could not say at which level additional financing would be needed, he believes there is a large enough market to raise the needed borrowing domestically. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. A survey on leading conditions in the banking sector is showing that during the second half of 2020, there was a sharp reduction in consumer demand for credit, represented by a 58.3% decline in the number of credit applications made to commercial banks. The central bank attributing the sharp contraction to the economic downturn from the COVID-19 pandemic. Of the 11,398 credit applications processed between July and December last year, only 67.4% were approved, or a little more than 7,600. According to the central bank, most loan denials were due to high DSRs, or debt service ratios, a lack of collateral, and underemployment. Consumer loan applications continued to dominate, representing 89.3% of total loans, 67% of which were approved. In the mortgages market, applications received were lower by 19.6% when compared with the second half of 2019, and demand for commercial credit also declined compared to the latter half of 2019. The consumer loans denial rate was 28.4%, while the mortgage application denial rate was 12.3%. There were 7 foreign direct investment projects valued at more than $170 million in the works. That's according to the Bahamas Investment Authority. The projects which were revealed in the central bank's quarterly presentation yesterday are on New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Andros, the Berry Islands, and Bimini. On Bimini, Genting Americas, RAV Bahamas, and Phoenix Infrastructure Group have approved in principle to enter into negotiations with the government for a public-private partnership to redevelop, manage, and operate the Bimini Airport. On Grand Bahama, a group called WDS Discovery Limited intends to invest $102.5 million in the Discovery Bay project, a mixed-use resort development. The project involves the acquisition of approximately 30 acres of land situated at the southeast terminus of Fortune Bay Drive. It's expected to employ 80 workers at its peak and 40 incremental workers throughout. Developers are also seeking to invest $35 million to construct a new hotel in New Providence. The Hotel Consult Bahamas will be on 107 acres of land on Paradise Island, which has already been purchased for $10.3 million. The old Paradise Harbor Club and Marina set to be transformed to include a restaurant, bar, 5 bungalows, pool lounges, cabanas, and the expansion of the existing dock and marina. That project will supposedly employ 100 new workers at its peak, and 80 incremental workers. Plus, on Andros, developers have been approved to operate a full-scale poultry farm called Pinnacle Farm. Investors are looking to pump $20 million into the project and promise to employ 50 workers at peak and 50 incremental workers. Read more about the projects in today's Guardian Business section. Also read about what Royal Caribbean is saying based on the discussion they had on Morning Blend Business yesterday. Overseas, Pfizer, bolstered by a huge jump in sales for its COVID-19 vaccine and solid performance across most of the company, hiking its 2021 financial forecast sharply after blowing past Wall Street expectations for the first quarter. The New York drug maker and its German partner on the vaccine, BioNTech, continue to sign contracts with multiple countries for their two-dose shot. They reported $3.46 billion in first quarter sales and now expect to rake in roughly $26 billion over the year, up from their prior forecast of about $15 billion. The companies may soon receive U.S. and EU approval to give the vaccine to 12 to 15-year-olds, and they continue testing the vaccine in other patient groups and on developing new vaccine versions that have a longer shelf life and don't require ultra-cold storage. Pfizer today reported net income of $4.88 billion, or 86 cents per share. That was up from $3.36 billion, or 60 cents per share in 2020's first quarter, when the global coronavirus pandemic began triggering lockdowns and doctor visits as new prescriptions from other medicines dropped significantly. Adjusted earnings, including one-time items, jumped 48% to $5.26 billion, or 93 cents per share, far above the 79 cents Wall Street was expecting. And the U.S. trade deficit surging to a record $74.4 billion in March as an improving U.S. economy drove purchases of imported foreign goods. The deficit was 5.6% higher than the February gap of $70.5 billion, according to the Commerce Department. The trade deficit is the gap between what America buys from abroad and what it sells to other countries. Imports rose 6.3% to $274.5 billion, while exports increased 6.6% to $200 billion. U.S. imports so much more than it exports that in dollar terms, the rise in imports was greater. The politically sensitive deficit with China in goods rose 11.6% to $27.7 billion, as usual, the largest deficit with any single country. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Monday, your market movers, Colina Holdings moving 3,000 shares, closing down 1 cent to $5.57. Cable Bahamas Series 6 moving 70,000, closing unchanged at $1,000. Consolidated Water unchanged at $2.35. Emir Incorporated down 9 cents to $11.37. The BISX All Share Index closing at 1,945.09, down 0.99. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. You are listening to Morning Blend Business. When we come back, the business of Junkanoo. Are we looking at the future potential with major new projects on the horizon? What does it all mean? That's coming up. Stay with us.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons.
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasagna Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Saxon and the Valley, Rush music makers one family. Saxon and the Valley, Rush music makers one family. Saxon and the Valley, Rush music makers one family. Saxon and the Valley, Rush music makers one family.
They're coming! Oh, then I came down out of my town. On to Bay Street with the Junkanoo clan. Saxon at the rhythm, licking them goatskin drum. The Valley boys on the brass, giving the rough bum bum. I'm a bohemian, I'm proud to be one. Saxon and the Valley, music makers one family. 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 If you understand what I'm trying to say.
And we're back here with Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you. And this morning we are talking about Junkanoo and whether this is the time now to take Junkanoo to the world with the spotlight on the country as we prepare for some opportunities, major opportunities with cruise lines, home porting from here in Nassau and making multiple stops at various destinations in the Bahamas beginning as early as next month. Is this the time now to take Junkanoo to the world? Someone who's been talking about this for years, who's been living it for years, is here with us this morning to talk about this, and we want to get into this as deeply as we can. And we're very pleased to welcome back from the Junkanoo Commandos, Angelique McKay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So for those who aren't familiar, let's get a little background on the Junkanoo Commandos. I don't know how they don't know, but for those who don't know, you've been taking it to the world, Junkanoo, exporting it basically for a long time. Let's talk about that before we talk about the opportunities that we are hearing about more and more now. But let's tell us about the Commandos.
Well, we are the Cacique award-winning Junkanoo
I'm sorry.
Commandos.
How can I forget?
I don't know, Dwight. I don't know. We've traveled to over 34 cities around the world. We've been as far as Italy and as close as Cat Island, showcasing the creative arts of Junkanoo. And the mission of our organization is to positively change the world through the creative arts of Junkanoo while empowering others. So we've participated in festivals and carnivals around the world. We've done presentations to professional artists, carnival artists, celebratory artists, university artists. We've done several artist in residency programs, both locally here in the Bahamas as well as in the United Kingdom.
Okay, so that's great for culture, but is there money in that? Do you make money from this?
They're not free trips. Our team is paid. There are presentation fees for the presenters. There are performance fees for the persons who perform. Many of the festivals and carnivals we have a partnership with. Not all of the festivals are able to cover 100% of our expenses when we travel, hence the partnership. So in some instances, they pay 70% of, say, our airfare. Other festivals aren't able to contribute to the airfare. But whenever we travel, 100% of our accommodations are covered, our ground transportation's covered, our meals are covered, and our performance fees or presentation fees are covered. So there is money in it. And Junkanoo is the greatest show on earth. And whenever we travel and persons get to experience a taste of Junkanoo, we're like the Pied Piper. They follow us until we take our costumes off, until we dismount in our costumes, and they gather around. So there are opportunities for Junkanoo. And we've seen this in the United States. We've seen this in Europe. We've seen it in the UK. We've seen it throughout the Caribbean whenever we perform.
Yeah. Okay, so you can make money as a performer, but does it translate into sales? Do people buy costumes? Do they buy headpieces? What does that happen?
We have had opportunities when we traveled persons would purchase the costumes. Persons have purchased the costumes from the commandos when they travel.
Yeah.
So they would have to just create the costume again when they come back.
Okay.
So that's an opportunity. We also have...
And there is interest in that. You have good interest in that.
There is. See, we attend festivals and carnivals where persons are coming and looking for art. And when we do
and it's
presentations,
purchased as art.
exactly, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
You remember the Junkanoo Commandos launched our festival in 2019, and that is Bahamas Junkanoo Art and Music Festival.
Right.
It's a revenue-generating festival, and Junkanoo is the nucleus of that festival, and it created an opportunity for Junkanoo artists to sell their work. What they would have used on Bay Street. So the authentic Junkanoo costumes, as well as other artists creating other pieces and other pieces of Junkanoo art. So the opportunity for it is there.
Yeah. All right. So I think you heard the show yesterday. We had Royal Caribbean on. We had Russell Benford who was on.
I want to speak with him one-on-one.
He's a great guy, great guy. So talking about what they have planned is not finalized as yet as they negotiate with the government, but what they have planned for Paradise Island, for their club, the beach club they have planned there. And he mentioned Junkanoo. We've heard Junkanoo mentioned with Global Ports for the downtown port revitalization. I think a museum is what they have planned there. So this is, I don't know if it's a carrot that they're dangling in front of our heads, but this is what even the foreign investors are using to show that there is a space for Bahamians there. What do we need to keep in mind with this? And what opportunities would you like to see there when they talk about incorporating Junkanoo into their projects?
Well, one of the things that I think we need to see is, they do these exit surveys and they do tons of surveys of things that the guests like, that the guests want. I would like to have an audience with them to find out some of the keepsakes that the cruise ship passengers have said that they would be interested in, the size, the type, because we wouldn't want Junkanoo artists to just go and create stuff. We always hear people say, oh, make hats, people are going to buy it. But that's not something that people readily pick up when they're traveling, because we have to look at packaging, the cost to carry an additional bag to travel. So we need feedback from those surveys, those exit surveys that they would have done, to get an idea of what people like. I heard him speak about letting persons know about the history of Junkanoo.
Yeah.
We had some artists that came over to participate in Junkanoo with the Junkanoo Commandos in our fun group on Bay Street. And they were here for 3 weeks during the Christmas time, so they experienced both Boxing Day and New Year's. And they walked from their hotel to the Junkanoo Shack in Mason's Edition. Big up to the Saxons for partnering with us with that, right? That's another opportunity for the cruise ship passengers to be able to do, quote unquote, a walking tour to one of the shacks. But then we get a lot of persons saying it's not safe. It's very safe. And those communities embrace people that come in there. And that's opportunity, because every day they went there, they purchased lunch from within the surrounding community.
Wow.
They ate what the Junkanoo guys ate. So wherever they sent for lunch, they ate. So that's another opportunity there. One of the other things I would like is for the Ministry of Tourism to assist these Junkanoo artists in guiding them as well. And endorsing what they have rather than shunning them and saying it's not safe. It's right over the hill. Yes, it's in Mason's Edition, but it's very safe. And people want to have that authentic cultural experience.
The biggest problem is the heat. That sun.
That's what they come for.
Right, yeah.
That's what they come for.
Yeah.
And I know another thing that the Junkanoo Commandos does, and we carry it with us when we travel as well. If a particular festival is able to accommodate it, we carry our pop-up Junkanoo Shack. So it allows people, just like what the gentleman was saying, people would like to see, it allows people to be submerged in the Junkanoo experience by way of participating in our pop-up shack. So opportunities are there.
Yeah. All right. So that takes us back to the home porting. The cruise ship's going to be here. They're going to be. This is where they'll embark, right? So people overnighting before or after, likely. The opportunities that should be in the downtown area. And that sounds like something amazing there if you can have tours. And what you see along the way can help not just Junkanoo, but, as you say, other businesses. Are you hearing anybody talk like this, though, that we need to have more of those since we're going to have more people here? And a real captive audience is not going to be here just for a few hours, but they may be here overnight and looking for things to do. Are people thinking like that? This is starting next month.
I don't think people are thinking like that because we're not getting the information. The next month thing, when I heard it on your show, I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was shocked. It's like the information is held in certain areas.
Well, I mean, but we have been talking about it.
You've been talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
but when I heard the show yesterday, it felt real yesterday.
Just now feeling real.
Felt real
Oh, boy.
yesterday.
Mhm.
Because it has a lot of potential. I know everybody who knows me know I push festivals. Festivals is an ideal opportunity for us to have festivals like galore right now, because if they're encouraging persons to come off of the cruise ships, this is a spot where they could go. I know at one point I was responsible for designing events that would be implemented in the Botanical Garden, which is in close proximity to the cruise ship ports. That's an ideal location to have events. For persons for the cruise ships, as well as ideal parking for locals to be able to interact. Because visitors want to interact with the locals.
And you've not heard about anything like that?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. And
wow. Do you think it's because of COVID, or we just not?
I don't think it's COVID, but I don't know what it is, because I would expect that the persons who sit around the table, because he made several references to meeting with the government. So I would have expected the Ministry of Tourism or the ministry with responsibility for culture to be able to lead this charge with the artistic community to make things happen and to begin for that thought process to begin. I know we can't expect that artists would just create items in the hopes that it would be sold, because these cruise ships would have done those surveys to find out the kind of products that their visitors prefer. And if we could get an idea, okay, they only want things that are 6 by 6. So you could still be creative, exactly.
Right.
You know, rather than listening to persons who would have done those, oh, they could buy a big hat. They could buy that. You know, they're not going to buy that. You know, so if we could get information like that, they also would know what the price points are that those persons would be willing to spend on an item. You know, so we the artistic community needs that kind of feedback. They need that kind of meeting. And I had hoped those two agencies would have called a meeting, because next month is right here.
Yeah. I mean, as simple as just Junkanoo groups downtown, are we even thinking like that from what you hear as an insider? Are we hearing that there are going to be scrap groups here, this one's going to be on this street, any of that kind of talk at all?
I've heard nothing within the Junkanoo community. Maybe I'm just in a Junkanoo bubble. I don't know. I have not heard anything about it. I have not heard a buzz. The only thing I heard about Junkanoo lately was the call to go and get the vaccine so that we could rush. We still don't know.
Oh my.
We still don't know about that, or the size that they would allow us to have a performance with.
Right.
I heard the word Junkanoo a lot yesterday, but it wasn't any direction that they would be willing to take it. We can't just offer things. We offering things that we don't know if they want.
Right.
Tell us exactly what kinds of things you want. We can modify what it is that we do to fit what it is that you are looking for.
Oh, should it be that perspective, though, or should we just give them what we do best and
we will perform?
And let's see what
we will perform in our costumes. We will create Junkanoo items, But it doesn't make sense for us to make these items if we don't have an audience for the size of these items that we're making. You know, we can let them know a performance, 30-minute performance. We can also have opportunities for your visitors to get a costume and be in the line. There are so many things that we could do and offer to them, but we need to have that dialogue with them.
Okay, we want to hear from you folks. Maybe you are in the Junkanoo community. What are you doing? Are you thinking about this? Maybe you aren't in the bubble, if Angelique is indeed in a bubble. But what are you hearing? Are people prepared to be out there when these ships are in town? The night before they sail, when they get back, what is the plan? Do you have a plan? What do you need to hear? Are we taking this seriously? Are we going to be able to realize all the potential, to take advantage of the potential that this presents? And we only have a 6-month window, as you heard, a 6-month window. And if we can make a great showing of this,
we could do so much in 6 months.
This could be a permanent thing.
We could do
right?
so much in 6 months. And with Junkanoo and the fact that they will be overnighting, we could simulate a real parade.
Yeah.
We could do that easily. And we can do one of those things that persons have always been saying, oh, we want to be able to get in the line and perform in Junkanoo. This is the perfect opportunity for something like that to happen.
Yep. Let's talk about it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning again, Dwight. How you doing?
Hi, good morning.
Okay, good morning, Angelique. How you doing?
Good morning, Anton. I'm well.
Of the award-winning,
The Cacique.
award-winning.
There you go. Get
Commando.
it right now.
Get it right, Dwight. Good morning to the nation. Great conversation. Very, very good conversation. I really appreciate the level of dialogue that you're bringing to the table and the framework that you made available, Dwight, for Angelique to bring this kind of conversation to the table. I wanted to engage yesterday with your guy, Russell, Mr. Russell, the VP from Royal Caribbean. But nonetheless, it didn't happen. But Dwight, here's the thing. We need to be able to, and Angelique is quite right, but I want to go even further. I wanted to find out from Mr. Russell, is there a heads of agreement which undergirds, dictates, and fully guides and lays out the obligations of Royal Caribbean? The reason why that is so critical and important, why, is for some of what Mr. Russell would have discussed yesterday, but what Angelique is discussing today in general terms. Businesses need continuity. Businesses need consistency. Businesses need to know that they can plan short, medium, and long term. They need to know they can make a certain level of budgetary investment and plan and put a certain amount of product on the line. And a heads of agreement is the perfect scope that provides the framework for businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs, behemoth entrepreneurs, to be able to know how they can interact with any investor or investment into the country. Dwight. That is what is missing from this discussion. That is what we need to understand. That's the details that we need to know, that Bahamians need to know, so that Bahamians can appreciate it's not just by a whim if Royal Caribbean wakes up one morning and they're feeling good and they're feeling like a good corporate business in the country, operating in our country, that they would decide, okay, we're going to spend this amount of money with Bahamian businesses. We need a legal document which dictates and determines, which allows for Bahamian businesses to participate in a real.
I hear you, and that's maybe yes. That would be great, but let's not remember now. We're talking about Junkanoo here, and so we have 6 months. We know that part. 6 months where they're going to be doing this, and it could be longer if their customers really do enjoy sailing out of the Bahamas, right? So we have an opportunity here, regardless of what arrangements they make with certain businesses, but in order to put our best foot forward to impress everybody that comes off the boat. And right, if you've been on a cruise, people won't come off the boat if they've been here before or if they hear that there's nothing to see. But if there is something, they will come off. And if you are impressive and you promote yourselves, you do this, they're going to take notice. They're going to say, oh, you got to go to that. They have the Junkanoo thing going on. We got to go see this, right? We have to do this. We have to do this on our own, regardless of whatever arrangement is made with the government. This is an opportunity now for us to shine.
If I can interject a quick point right there, Dwight.
Yeah.
All right. What you were saying, I understand, right? But what I am saying, Dwight, is if Angelique and the Jungle Commandos and many other businesses and many other behemoths who may have capital to invest in a business could understand legitimately that this is what is going to happen. As a matter of fact, in terms of the 6 months, I'm really wondering about that because Royal Caribbean has been porting here. I'm not home porting, but porting here for decades, Dwight. And so clearly, their clients see the Bahamas as a high demand tourism destination. That part I'm not concerned with. The negotiations, however, I am concerned with. If we're only talking about home porting for 6 months, that says a lot to me, Dwight, but I won't get into that. But Dwight, all I'm saying to you is this. A business plan, a heads of agreement, it lays out the pathway by which all Bahamians can know beyond any doubt. This is how they can participate, and this is how they can get an edge, and this is what they can look forward to taking advantage of. And I would hope that not only Royal Caribbean, because I appreciate that transparency coming onto your show on regular occasions and revealing a lot of information which is not coming forward from the people who are responsible to provide it to the Bahamian people. But I'm hoping, Dwight, that the Bahamian government would get on board and be transparent and provide this information and update the Bahamian people and let us know if there's areas of agreement, and if there isn't one, put one in place. Thanks for the opportunity, Dwight.
Thanks a lot. And perhaps that will apply to those who are going to be trading with them. As they said, they need Bahamians to provide services for the ships and food and other things on the ships. But that's a little bit different from what we're talking about today. But I do understand your point. Let's take one other call before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Angelique, baby. How you doing?
Morning, superstar.
I wanted to give Dwight a little synopsis of my 40-plus years in Jungle. But I retired now, I told my brothers and my sons that I make the money with the Jungle. I teach you the Jungle so you all can make some money. And Angelique, I ever love you because you take it serious. You're serious, man. You're part of my regime.
Yes, sir.
And everything you do, you're accountable, you're organized, et cetera, and you pay people what they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Dwight, many things I be telling you guys, I don't pick up my horn, but I do a lot of things. Angelique, you having the money, you having the idea, how much money I the Jungle.
Millions by now, JJ. Gotta be.
People talk, and this is why when I get mad, I tell people, see, they can't tell me. I know what I did, Angelique. I know my children sacrificed my children money, man. I did a lot of things. They have this culture. Travel all over the world, like you say, Angelique. Where everyone speaks French quarters, et cetera. Angelique, but see, now is your time. Now is the Bahamian people time. And when is the Bahamian people time? The 1973 Bahamians. It's your time, Angelique.
All right, JJ, let me ask you something. So if you were still active in Junkanoo, what would you do with an opportunity like this? What would you...
Well, I'm a multi-talent person, but like Angelique said, the carry bag, now I think little masks, little T-shapes, perfume, like that, little pump shakers, and I think small things that you put in the carry-on bag. Now, when it comes down like carbons and bristles, well, they can go in the carry-on also, right? But when it comes to drums and stuff like that, it's too huge, right? And it's a lot of money to make, man. The shacks, you do your sky juice and your comforters and your potato bread. There's all kind of money out there to be made, but how people stop complaining and start using their head.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. We're going to talk more about the opportunities, what else we could see, what else could work after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9, talking with Angelique McKay with Junkanoo Commandos, talking about the opportunities that we are seeing, which could be realized with what's happening with, especially the cruise lines now. We're going to get back into that after the break. Stay with us.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasagna Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we've got your final look at weather for this morning. Here's what's happening. We've got high pressure that is over the area. That's supporting very warm conditions and moderate to fresh breezes. There's a risk of rip currents, though, along eastern and southern shorelines, especially in the southeast Bahamas. For today, your forecast calls for partly sunny, hot and breezy conditions with a chance of a few stray showers, turning fair and warm tonight. For boaters, a small craft, caution is in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Hot day in store, highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will continue across the islands through at least Thursday, while gradually shifting eastwards ahead of an approaching frontal system. For tomorrow, Wednesday, that's going to mean partly sunny, hot and breezy conditions, a few possible passing showers, turning partly cloudy and warm at night. Thursday, partly cloudy, hot and breezy with a few passing showers. Increased cloudiness at night in the northwest Bahamas, isolated showers, and a few possible thunderstorms as well. That's your morning blend weather check. We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, and we're talking about the business of junk and the opportunities that are available now, especially with cruise lines home porting here and more visitors likely overnighting as a result of all of that. Are you prepared to take advantage of the opportunities? We've got Angelique McKay with the Junkanoo Commandos who sent me a WhatsApp message just now to tell you all, remind you all, she's sitting across from me, but she's WhatsApping me to remind you all that she is the Junkanoo Goddess.
Boop, boop.
Okay, Junkanoo Goddess Angelique McKay in studio with us.
Thank you, Stanya, for the label.
Okay. All right. So we were talking about this off air. We were coming up with ideas, and based on something you said, and I'm thinking about it. And tours. We keep hearing about tours, and I think people are talking about existing tours, but there are opportunities for new tours with so many more people who are likely to stay, and they're going to overnight because if you are anal, if you're very concerned about missing your flight or missing the cruise, you're going to want to come in earlier and maybe stay the night so that you get in on time because things happen if you're coming coming from afar, especially, you could miss the flight, or your flight could be delayed, and that could cause you to miss the whole cruise. So no, come a day or two before, and then you're going to want something to do. And we were talking, and it said, the wine and sip things are huge now in this town, or in the country, actually, other islands as well. But I mean, think about that from a Junkanoo perspective. You could possibly do a Kalik or Sands, and right, Kalik or Sands, and paste, right?
Well,
you could have,
with one of our Junkanoo commandos, Timmy, who's in Harbor Island, he does paste, sip and paste, I think he calls it, where people pasting and sipping.
There you go.
The opportunities are there.
Instead of the DJ music, you could have a rush out going on while you're pasting, and have that as part of a tour. You come and you experience it, and when you finish pasting it, you wear it and join the rush out, maybe.
And even we can also even have, in addition, I know you mentioned earlier about the sun being hot, walking to the shack. We can have nighttime tours to shacks, so persons could get that real Junkanoo experience at night. It's safe as well. That's where bus drivers could probably get an opportunity to generate some revenue with that. That's an opportunity where the Junkanoo groups themselves could probably organize that transportation from the cruise ship to their particular shacks, where all of the shacks would be able to be involved. Of course, it would be vetted to find out what's going on, because you don't want to offer a subpar product, but the opportunities are there.
Will a curfew hurt the potential for us to really take advantage of all of this? With a 10 p.m. curfew and people who are here and ready and looking for something to do before their cruise, is that going to hinder us achieving what we could?
Well, of course, if we had more time, we could achieve more, but we could tailor it into the time that we have, and seeing that everything, we looking for things to be close to the port. You know what your cutoff time is in order for you to get to where you need to be, so that you will not break curfew. And just as persons who had to get special permission, so if it's someone who's driving the tour bus to get you from a shack, say you're doing a nighttime tour, the driver would have permission to be out after 10, but within a particular time frame. So it can be done. Let me speak with them. Let them know what all we have to offer in Junkanoo, and let's put it together. Link me, Dwight. The cruise people. Link me.
Okay, but that keeps coming up. But I mean, do we really need
because
to
we
directly
need to
speak
know,
to them?
We do, because we need to know what they will and will not accept from the Junkanoo community. It doesn't make sense for us to go planning this grandiose thing if they're like, okay, we didn't want something that grand, we wanted something scaled down. So we can give them option A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And they can say, okay, G is more to our liking, and G is more to what our customers and our clients would appreciate at this time. We probably could do B 3 months down the line and see how G goes now. So we need to be able to let them know what all we all Junkanoo people always want to go all out. Trust me. But as the client, they may not want us to go all out in the beginning.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. Let's take some more calls. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Are you thinking about the opportunities out there, folks? We would hear from you again. 422-4796. Text us, let us know what you're thinking. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
A godly day to you, again, Dwight, along with you, Angeli.
Good morning, Bremen, darling Ferguson. How are you?
I'm holding, thank God.
Lovely.
A couple of things. First, I want to say to JJ, I've already discussed what you would call objective of business objective in the shop several years ago, but it seems as if as though it went on deaf ear. But what I want to say, right, a couple of things. What I would want to hear, if you're going to deal with the cruise ships, the Junkanoo groups, we are an organization, and I think we should be getting the group itself should be getting a decent piece of money as in a contract, and not just a few guys getting a couple of dollars. That's not decent. Secondly, I would like to hear they're not manipulating the leaders, because the leaders could get a lot of people to rush and build costume. My last point is, my other point is, get the what you would call the those violent guys out of the group and from around the group if you're going to be dealing with tourists. And my last point is that what am I going to say? Take the politics out of Drunkenu. We don't need that. That's killing Drunkenu today.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Brad. How are you?
Doing well.
Wonderful, man. That lady that you got, is she in the studio with you, or she's on the?
I'm here, sir. I'm in the
Okay.
studio.
Yeah, I admire your the way you're handling our market. At least you plan to. You know, I've worked in the industry all my life. It's the only job I've ever had. I came out of school at the age of 19 and went straight into the hotel field. Okay, I worked for a company on product lines all my life, and retirement is not yet. You the way you speak about the industry and it is the right approach. You know, I'm seeing that we're redoing our port right now. Right now is the time to galvanize the human part of us to take control of the street and our culture there on Bay Street downtown. Got to get out all of the bad people, and you know them, I know them, we all know them. Okay, they can be reformed, and who can't? Well, you just can't be there. You know. And congratulations to you and the rest of your organization and teammates. You know, just make sure that they're on the same level with you, because we're in this together. It's our product.
Well, okay. Well, nothing's happened yet, so we were hoping. That's what we're talking about there, right? Do we, and not just one group, all of us see this, and that's why we're having the discussion, because I don't think people are paying attention that this is your time now. If you had ideas, this is the time to really get them going, right? Nothing's happened yet. That's what we're saying. We're not hearing anybody say, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm trying to get this because this is now I can showcase what I do. We're trying to get you to think about it, right? There's no reason for the usual suspects only to benefit from this.
But I think Dwight, once you have to have a plan, a solid plan, and not expect somebody to bring something to the table to you. You take something to the table.
Exactly.
And I have a platter ready to take to the table.
Okay. All right. Let's take this final call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Listen here. I'm a taxi driver. Y'all, they need to get together. The people don't bring the people off the ship because they're afraid. They got to meet with the taxi drivers. They got to meet with the Junkanoo groups and also the people in the hotels. How, when they bring their people off, if their people will be in the right direction, who will be able to handle them and work along with them, when them people can enjoy themselves and everything. The ship don't come in until when they see Junkanoo is over on them cruise ship. And they got to work out something for the people in the hotel. Those people not going to let those people come off that cruise ship if they sure their people is not in the right direction.
Okay.
And somebody can handle them.
All right, so we got a real problem here. People aren't understanding what's going on here. This isn't the typical cruise, right? This is setting sail from Nassau. They have to board the boats here, right? So it's a little bit different from the ship comes in, and the people, maybe they'll come off, and then they'll go, right? So people are going to board the vessel here, right? Many of them will come in early, as in maybe the day before or a few days before, based on how far they have to travel. So what are we going to do? What's going to be available for people to do in those days that they're here, either before the cruise or after the cruise, right? Are we going to have the same T-shirts and jewelry stores offering that we have right now, or can we give folks an authentic Bahamian experience? are we thinking along those lines? And is the time for Junkanoo to show its stuff, right? Not just for the people who come in December and January, but
And the thing is,
for
Dwight,
the next 6 months.
A lot of our visitors do not get to experience
Not at all.
Junkanoo during the Christmas. So this is the greatest show on earth, and it's an opportunity for us to allow the world to see, because there's nowhere else on the planet that you could go to experience Junkanoo the way that we present it in the Bahamas.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a lot of work to do and not much time to get the messages out there. We may have to have another part 2 of this, Angelique, but thank you very much.
You have my number.
Yes, I do. We will talk. But thank you very much for being here. Hopefully we get some people's minds going there and thinking about all of this. All right. So that is it for us today. And coming up next is Aaron Green, who is today celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday, Aaron Green. Happy birthday. Wonderful. Good Taurus.
Charney Queen, happy birthday.
A good Taurus woman there. Yeah. So that's it. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend business. So stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.